Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, welcome back to the Dirty Knobs podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts are, as always, JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter. On this episode, season 4, episode 4, we have, it might be the most important episode we've ever had, simply because the content of what it is and what it has to deal with. So I hope you'll really enjoy it. Please listen to our commercials and check out. Ooh, I don't think there's going to be anything at the end, but you never know. So check it out. Also, I will touch on some responses I had. I spoke to some other parties that are involved in this podcast, and they had some things to say, and I want to share them with you. So I'll put those in farther into the episode. Also, hey, if you like what we do, subscribe, tell your friends, like, and comment. All that helps. But mainly, come out to Dirty Fest June 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yo,
Yo,
you got that sun thing working again.
I know I'm gonna have to slide over, man. In the sushi lounge, we got a little window right here, man. And when we get these morning tapings, the sun just literally came over the roof of my house. So we're gonna go from the sushi village.
There you go.
A little better.
Yeah.
Now we're in the recording studio.
I mean, you're right in the sun, but you look like you're having a hard time.
50-50. All right.
Oh yeah, it's much better now.
JV, you're a little dark.
I know, because my
That's from
lights
birth,
are
dude.
fucked up.
That's from birth, Hollywood.
Some things I can't help, you know.
That's right.
Like
Hollywood, that's called pigmentation.
Oh, I'm gonna be called a racist again. Yeah.
Or as JV would say, tation. Pigmentation.
That's right.
Please come to the service counter.
Please pick up the white courtesy phone.
Dude, doing breakfast here.
EC, we used to. Oh,
Pizza.
Little
Cold
California
or
pizza
heated?
kitchen.
nothing like pizza at 8 a.m.
Mm.
I remember when I was single.
That's right. It's tasty, bro.
Is it cold or heated up?
No, I heat them up.
All right.
We get them from California Pizza Kitchen, and I even heat them up every slice. We get them in the box, but I run each slice in the oven. I get it extra hot. I like to be hot, dude.
Do you heat the pizza stone?
I don't have one of those. I need one.
You just put it in the toaster oven? The oven?
I put it straight in the oven
On
on the
a rack.
grate,
Yeah.
but you got to place it just right on the grate or it falls through.
Right.
You get the tip down in between the
You
cracks.
do.
Right.
That's how you lose. That's how you lose stuff.
I know. So
You lose the goods.
that's right.
Well, fellas, this is a very special one in that we were requested.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were requested. I just want to say that I'm not sure how this conversation is going to go, but as brothers, as the three of us, as brothers in BMX, we want to always give people the opportunity to talk. We've had friends of ours, people we know that have challenges in their life, and sometimes it gets the best of them, and it can take you down a bad road. I'm not saying that's the case in this situation, but I can see how people can get sideways in their life and how it can affect them. And I want to make sure that a big message for today is that, hey man, hey brothers and sisters in BMX, you always have a family. You always have us. You always have friends. I'm sure that you can reach out to the guy or girl that you raced in 89, and they'll love to talk to you about it. So don't ever feel like you're alone, and you always have someone to talk to. Hell, you can always call us here at the Dirty Knobs.
Well, you
We'll
can't
talk
call
to you.
me, dude.
But we'll just
Yeah,
make fun of you.
EC won't return that.
Don't call
EC
me. I
won't
don't answer my
Oh yeah,
phone.
yeah. Don't call me. I'm sorry. I have to take that one back.
You can call JV. You can call Hollywood.
But yeah, but be forewarned. If you call us with the most serious problems, we might be compassionate or empathetic for a second, but then we are going to mock you.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just part of it.
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
that's what
true.
good brothers do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Forget your life. You ought to be depressed about those shoes.
Hey, what Hollywood? What's going on with those headphones, bro? You got some new headphones?
Same ones from the very beginning.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
New
man.
ones. Huh.
Glad you're paying attention.
And I
Glad
am.
you're observant like that.
Well, you know how many of these things I've watched.
I'll tell you what is new, and that is this hutch frame right up here.
Oh,
Oh. Pro?
Yep. Chrome Pro XL, just regular
Nice.
Pro Racer. Yeah, there's a story behind it, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet. Oh, more importantly, right there.
Your underwear? PK's underwear?
Yep. Held up by the Duke's suspenders.
did somebody lose a bet?
Now he made the very, very big mistake of leaving those on the workbench. He used them to clean the chain. And I said, "Oh yeah, I got it."
Those are mine.
Perry Kramer's greasy underwear. Hell yeah,
Those are mines.
dude! I'm gonna
Mines.
frame them. I'm gonna frame those and take them to Tulsa and hang
That's
them on the
right.
wall.
Wait, what's the green frame back there?
Oh, it's blue.
Oh, it's blue.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a CW.
With a seat post? No seat?
Yeah, C post.
That's
no
how
seat.
you ride?
Hey,
Oh.
Friday night, nobody's looking. Up here on the corner, I got a torquer.
There you go.
Where?
Up in the corner.
Dude, you got some elbow pads up there too.
You do got the max
Dude,
elbow
I got the
pad.
max pad,
Oh my
I don't.
the maxi pads.
I see the Torker jersey, but I'm not seeing the frame.
Yeah, well, hold on.
Dude,
See it now?
the wall is filling out, huh?
Yeah, you see it now, JV?
Yeah.
You see the Torker frame, EC?
Just right above the maxi pads.
See my finger?
Oh, you know what? Hold on a minute. I've got this bar saying this thing is being recorded. There it is. Okay, what's covering it?
You know what I like? My favorite part of that is JV going like this,
Trying to look.
like somehow he can see under the screen.
Mhm. You can.
I
Hey, how
got
about
it. Oh
this?
man, I was really cut off by a lot of shit.
How about that? You have no idea. We've been texting you for hours. You've been missing all the messages for all these shows. You're kidding me? My
John Cruise.
John
Oh.
Cruise Legend Award.
Oh
My
yeah.
John Cruise poster. My John Cruise. Dude, I just got to do a
Block.
tour. We're gonna have to do a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of
Hey,
tour,
I want to see before we get going, man. I always like to see what shirt you guys are wearing.
I got
Oh,
I
dude.
got a plain black one today.
Hollywood's running the stock DK.
dude, look at I'm full corporate today.
He's got the factory support shirt.
I'm
You
full
are.
I'm corporate.
And
What do you
both
got?
you both are running the hats. I'm running I got my beanie. My sister-in-law Hillary, Rich Houseman's wife, she hand makes
Hilsey?
She
hand
made
makes
that?
these things. Huh?
Holy, she made that.
Yeah, she hand makes these things, dude.
She's Amish.
She is Amish. She's part Amish. No, they're sick, man. The best beanies ever. Super wide. They don't press on my head because I got a big fat melon. So custom fit.
Wow.
And then I got well,
You got
can't
the
see
bill
it.
well.
I got
Oh
my bill
yeah.
well. Dude, Magoo, my boys. They take good care of me, man. They give me good work gloves and
Nice.
bitch and helmets to race the Dirty Fest in.
The helmet's
Um,
badass, man. It totally fits perfectly with our,
It
the
does.
jersey, the look.
The vintage style.
Yeah.
And they splurged on the interior. Unlike an Echo helmet, they splurged
Yes,
on the interior.
they do. It's super comfortable, man. And it doubles as my snowboard helmet as well. So yeah, man.
Oh man.
He's
Well,
Billwell's over there, right by you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. They're Temecula.
Right.
Yeah, they're like 10 minutes from me, man.
Yeah, that's nice.
They got a really JV when you're here, man. Their office and their little shop there inside when you go in their main building,
Yeah,
pretty cool, dude. Yeah,
I
it's
have to check that out. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe at Dirty Fest before,
Yeah,
that week before.
Oh yeah, because we have plenty of spare time. We can
No,
swing
dude,
but
by.
it's right over there,
it
right?
is right over there. It really is.
It is close.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
close.
we
And
should
then
go check it out.
yeah, you'd like it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, stop. We went to Cool Stop.
Yeah. See?
That was awesome.
Okay, okay.
Going to Cool Stop Brake Pads that was a great trip. That was
All
awesome.
right. See?
Wow.
See?
Yeah, why don't we just visit all of our vendors, all of our sponsors?
I mean, why
Yep.
not? Why
Why don't
not?
we get a motorhome and go on tour? Maybe we can have some clinics.
There we go. Now we're talking, right?
Hey, by the way, congratulations on the Legends, NBA Legends award. Or you will get the award, I guess, it's
Well,
this
thank you.
month. This
That's
month, right?
awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, what's really funny was Ernie Alexander told me that he called me and goes, "Hey, are you going to come to the NBA event?" I go, "Yeah, Ernie, I'd never miss it." I say, "Ernie, yes, Mr. Alexander, I'd never miss it." Next thing I know, he goes, "Hey, you're getting an award." It's like, oh, it's one of those things that, got to be honest with you, it's still one of those things when I see, the names, I go, man, I still don't feel like I belong in there.
Oh,
I know,
Oh, yeah, come on.
but still, I do. It's like with the NBA legends. I mean, those guys are the NBA legends. And then when I go to Perry Kramer's house and I spend the night there, and we're up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's telling me about how it was, and it still makes me feel like that 12-year-old kid looking through the magazine again.
Right.
oh,
I go right back to it. All right, well, fellas, we have again this gentleman called me not long ago and said, actually he called me a little bit ago and said, "Hey, I have this thing I want to talk about. It's want to give him the opportunity to do so." And he said he didn't want to talk to anyone else except us. And I thought it's a great opportunity for us, but mainly it's a great opportunity, a good opportunity for a brother of ours to get something off his chest. And we'll let the conversation lead itself.
All right.
Okay. So
all right.
without further ado,
Okay.
Greg
All
Hill.
right. There we go.
Mr. Greg Hill.
We got Hillage.
I know. Look at this.
Frickin' Hillage. I love it. I like Hillage, man. He just gets it going,
Got
dude.
drama happening. This is why you should let people like me in at 7 a.m., not 8, because I just don't get how this shit works sometimes.
He just gets revved up, dude.
What's going, dude? Where's your pizza at, bro?
I just ate it, bro. I literally just have my life.
He really did. He really does have
Awesome.
pizza.
What's up, James? How you doing over there?
Good. How are you? How you been?
Good, man. Not too bad. We're getting started early, but your day is halfway over already.
Yeah, exactly. It's 11. It's almost 11:30 right now. So
Sorry for interrupting. Big Mike, what's up there,
Hey,
dude? You're looking pretty serious.
I said to Greg, "Hey, is 8 o'clock too early for you?" He goes, "8? I'm already having lunch by then."
Hey, not by choice, dude. I set my alarm for every job. I get up it's set for 5 o'clock, and I wake up at like 4:20, and I'm like, my body wakes up
Wow.
automatically.
You do 4:20. You get your CBD on.
Do 4:20.
Do some sprints.
I do 4:20 at about 8 p.m. and by about 8:15, I'm sawing massive logs, and then I'm good for 6 hours, and it's like, and then I'm awake, dude. It's just how it is.
Dude,
I need some stronger shit, apparently. I don't know.
I'm
Need
6:30 a.m. I
crazy
sniff.
about that stuff.
I'm 6:30 a.m. I just sniff the coffee, and I'm dropping
it.
logs.
Oh yeah, dude.
I think I need to upgrade the coffee deal as well because it's just not kicking like.
Dude, it's crazy. I don't even have to drink it. I just have to smell it, and it's like the
And it
alarm
gets you
goes
going.
off, and
You gotta go.
the colon alert goes off.
That's right.
Right on, man.
Hey,
Dude, look
Greg,
at all the cool shit that you guys have in the background on your. I got like fucking, excuse my language. I have a macrame thumbs up.
Thumbs
back.
up.
Dude,
You
yeah.
guys have all these cool BMX stuff. It's awesome.
That-
I don't got
that-
BMX stuff, dude. I'm in
The
the
guitars going on, dude. See, that's cool.
I'm in the
Yeah.
recording studio, man. That's all my.
Hey, I have a guitar hanging on the wall, but I don't know how to play it yet. I need lessons, man.
Those my boy will hook you up, dude. Those
There you go.
are all his guitars.
So what's shaking?
Your computer. Hey, are you?
Sorry.
What's the story on it? What?
I was just getting a little excited when I get and moving around, so I'm gonna just chill.
Yeah, or scoot back away from it, or zip tie your hands together.
I've
Something.
got my I'm working the laptop right now, dude. I'm not high tech on my.
Okay, well that's fine, but stop touching it.
Okay, like you don't want this happening. Okay,
You know,
right.
we don't want any more.
Okay. Then I'm gonna set it where I don't touch it, like in a spot. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
See, if I go into my wife's office and I try to hook up some shit on the computer, and she works from there, it's not happening. So I don't want to
No.
screw you.
You got
I
it's
just
good
got a
right
call.
now. You're in good shape.
I set it on the arm of the chair. So yeah.
Yeah.
I got a comment on it though. The hand behind you should not be like thumbs up. It should be like this.
It's almost there. It's almost there.
I don't know where you got the thumbs up thing from, but it started, and now we have this shit all over the place.
Yep. And you got to do. We have to do like James and get to the side of the thing and look sideways at it so we can
Here,
see
we can
it
fix
at the
that.
right angle.
You know, Terry T would be stoked on that.
Check
Dude.
this out. Hold up. I'm gonna do a technical adjustment.
There we go.
How's that shit?
There we go. Even
All
better.
right.
There.
Oh,
We're out of the thumbs up. It's
dude, now you're in the log cabin.
over
That's
there.
right.
You're
Somewhere.
still moving it around though.
I know. It's down now, bro. We're good.
It's still the Northridge earthquake all over again going on
Good.
over there. What is the story?
You know why? You know why it's like that, Hollywood? Hillage can't talk without moving his hands, right? So it's
Hey,
this,
I
and
see
every time he
hand movement.
talks,
He's banging the screen with it.
I
Hey,
see. I see a lot of hand movement happening in the world.
Hey.
I see a lot of people
hey,
using
butthead.
the hand gets a little bit tired sometimes because there's so many. You know,
There's a lot of points.
when you're dealing with people. Sometimes my hand had to come out so hard yesterday. No, on Friday my hand had to come out so hard. I needed to ice it when I got home from work. It was
Job, dude.
unbelievable.
it's the chop.
Well, Greg, we would love to hear what it is. We want to give you the opportunity to say and really whatever you want to say at any length at all.
Huh?
We'd love to hear it.
Well, I reach out to you because I'm moving this one more time. That's it. I feel like I want to make sure that before I start talking that I say this. I'm not complaining about getting the wrong car given to me. I'm not being ungrateful for anything. I know that I have my own accomplishments and I'm proud of them, and I don't ever give a shit about, oh, is he one of the top 5, 10? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I know what I did. So this whole thing is based on truth and on a situation where when I was racing, and I know that you all can relate to this. When you're racing, you can always go out and try to make up for, you're at the last week and you got a 118, which gave you 3rd overall, but you're like, crap, okay, I'll make up for it next weekend. At the end of my career, when I was done racing, I couldn't make up for anything that maybe I was having an issue with that took place. So I then started getting the shovel out and burying it in the yard. Okay. This is like for 40 years, man. And so like I was telling Mike, when there was no social media, I'm using the hands, by the way, but they're down low. So when there was no social media, it wasn't a big deal because, you don't see this stuff all the time. But like myself and many others, you wake up in the morning, you grab your coffee, you got your phone, you open up Facebook, boom, there's a picture of Brent Patterson with, sitting in a Trans Am. I don't care about the Trans Am. I could buy a Trans Am if I wanted one. I don't give a shit, but it's a reminder of what took place. I see a picture of Stu, you know, first ABA #1 pro, and so it's a reminder, and then you suppress it. I can't do it anymore, man. I'm just done. I just want to get this off my chest, and then I can just be done with it. I don't have to bury it. It's just done. Like I talked to my wife about it in great detail before I ever reached out to you, you know, and I bounce it off of her to get her perspective, because she's 100 times smarter than I am. And she's like, you gotta just air it out and let it quit bothering you. You got to be at peace with that, where most people would be like, and a lot of people who watch this, and I understand, they're going to be like, well, you got to be at peace anyway. You accomplished so much. It doesn't matter what I accomplished. What matters is a 15-year-old kid and a 16-year-old kid got completely screwed, and nobody's speaking up about it, and no one's defending them. And as an older man, that seed is living in here. And people, you know, people have no idea why. Well, how come you went to 3 different elementary schools? Well, you know, when you're raised in a certain way, you deal with things with your hands. So then you get to be 15 years old. The hand being used would be more like this than this. So when you're getting into BMX and you're racing, and now, you know, you get screwed over 2 times at the very beginning of your pro career, and then you go through your whole pro career and you're known as, oh wow, this guy was like ready to throw his bike down and fight every weekend, and oh, he hates the ABA and this and that. Well, there's reasons for that, man, because I'm pretty chill. I don't know many people who are as chill as I am. Every single time I go somewhere with people, they want to compete. Who can do this? Who can do that? I could give a shit. Go for it. Knock yourself out. I'm going to sit here and sip some coffee and enjoy it, man. I'm chill, but this bothers me. So I hope that makes sense, and that's why I want to deal with it.
Well,
dealing with it with you and airing it out to the community is therapy.
Well, first, let me just say that we know we're privileged. The 3 of us are privileged to have you and to have your trust, and we don't take that lightly. I also know that, you know, even though the 3 of us all have similar backgrounds, we have very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So that you may be telling the same story to the 3 of us, but we all 3 may hear it differently. There may be a different set of ears and a different mindset that takes us in.
Right.
So if we were to, we want to let you say everything you want to say. We want to listen as your brothers. We want to listen. But we will probably come back to you with some questions.
Yeah, it's all good.
And we made it a purpose not to talk too much about it beforehand, so that we could allow you to do this. So please, please.
Okay. Well,
let me just say,
yes,
Mike, that was a very profound statement you just made. That was like a very kind of like deep. I was like, oh wow, we all interpret it differently. That was like good early stuff for you.
I
just want to leave that.
I appreciate it, man. I truly feel like, you know, we're all born how we're born. You know, I've got the heart on the sleeve. No matter how I try to tuck it away, it's there. So I can be like super, you know, I don't like roller coasters, but I can be on the roller coaster of emotionals for life. I mean, some dudes you talk to and you're like, are you home? Is anybody there? There's no emotions. It's like, dude, we're not playing poker right now. You don't have to have your poker face on. But for me, you're going to know if I like you or if I don't, and you're going to know how I feel about stuff. And, you know, as you get older, you learn how to be cool with having different opinions. But when you're younger, it's like, yo, let's fight. And then we can talk, you know? And now it's like, so I got to get past that with the BMX thing, because there's, you know, so we'll start it out if you don't mind. And the thing is, some people might say, well, you're going to be talking about 2 gentlemen right now who are very highly respected in the industry as racers. I'm not here to bash Stuart or Brent, okay? And I can talk about these guys and what happened on the track and how they responded to it. And I don't give a fuck if they like it or not. I don't give a shit. I love Stuart. He's my brother. And if you come against him, prepare to get your ass beat because I'm there to help. Okay? I don't give a shit about Brent Patterson. I'm not related to him. Okay? I don't care if he likes it or not. And if they don't like it, well, I'm not hard to find. Come talk to me. I don't give a shit. Okay? I'm going to say what I got to say. That's that. So when we entered, you know, the 79 season, and ABA was like, hey, we're having our first pro championship. This is, I sent you a text. There's a little box that was typed out by the American Bicycle Motocross, whatever, the ABA paper at the time.
Yep.
Mhm.
You'll have to
And that will be on the screen now as we're talking.
Oh, okay. I don't see it, but I get it.
No,
Okay,
no.
so
When it'll be
Okay.
edited in.
I got it. So when they say, hey, you have to wait till the grands to find out who wins the pro title, will it be whoever, Stu Thompson, Harry Lay, Greg Hill, whatever. Well, as you know, we raced all year long and we got to the grands and I didn't make the main and Stu won. First place was $1,000. They didn't call him out to the infield. They didn't announce who was the number one pro because he wasn't, because I didn't have to make the grands. I could have stayed home.
I want to point out that at the ABA Grands, like they do now, and they did then,
Yeah.
they would say, leading the class, leading the national amateurs,
Right.
this rider, and he has X amount of points, and
Right.
if he gets first place, he will pass and he'll be the leader, and that's how they
Right.
did it. And
Yeah.
in the pros, it was very simple. Every dollar you made was 1 point.
That's right.
So if you won $600, if you won $1,000, you got 1,000 points. It was
That's
very
correct.
simple to keep track of. It was
Right.
at every ABA sanctioned race, and that's
There you
how it
go.
worked. It was very simple, and you knew at the grands, everybody else knew that if you were the number one amateur and you were leading in points and you won the grands, that you were
Yeah.
the number one amateur.
Absolutely.
And we all knew. I mean, you knew that if you had $10,000, you'd won $10,000, and nobody else had won $10,000 after the end of the grands, you were the number one pro.
Right.
So just
That was-
so everyone understands what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay,
That was
Greg.
that was the point system.
Mhm.
And going into the grands based on what had been said all year long, and probably the reason I didn't make the grands, because you go to the grands when you're in a title chase and a hunt, and there's several people that are mathematically able to win that title. I am stressed out, man, and I work my ass off to try to I got to make the main. But when it's over, before you ever get in the car to go there, it's really a weird deal. It's very hard. It's tough to deal with. It's much different. So, they didn't announce that anything. They didn't announce, well, we got blah, 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 and points of this and that. I already had well over 1,000-point lead, and first place was 1,000. Okay. So we got done with the race, and it's like, well, shit, I didn't make the main, but they're not. And believe this was a long time ago, so I don't know word for word. Okay, but the basic sentiment is, hey, we're hanging out, and they're not announcing anything. There's nothing happening. What do we do here? So we leave, and then we get letters in the mail saying, hey, there's going to be 2 more races to the 1979 pro, season. And they're going to be in Chandler, Arizona. Okay. And this is a 15-year-old. I'm 16 now. Or no, I'm 15. I'm sorry. I'm 15. And so, I don't have any intelligence to handle this, man. I'm 15 years old, dude. And I'm like, just know about bikes. That's it. I don't know about how to handle adult situations. Forgive me, Father, but my dad didn't have the ability to help me handle it either. So hey, we're going to go race in Chandler. We go race in Chandler, and after the weekend, I won, and either both days, or I beat Stewart both days. I had a bigger lead, so it's like, hey, Dad, what now? And I don't know what he said, but after the race on Sunday, there was no, okay, there's the finality, nothing. So it's like, well, I guess we have to wait. And we get another letter saying there will be 2 final races to the 79 season, December 30th and 31st in Tucson, Arizona. So off to Tucson, Arizona we go. We race Saturday, and I don't know what place I got, but I know that I beat Stewart again. Now we've had 3 races. I've beat him all 3 times. Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
So we wake up Sunday morning and it's practice time. It's like, okay, it's the last day of the year. Mind you, now, I do remember this. When you're racing and you feel like you're getting, I got to really try. My weakness is my language. I have to really work here. When you feel like you're getting screwed over every step of the way, okay, it just starts to kind of grind on you, right? So before we even started racing, Merle Meniga comes over the announcing PA and says, we've got a sponsor that stepped up for today's race. It's blah, 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 X amount of dollars, whatever. We start racing, okay? In the main event, I went into the first turn in like 3rd place or 2nd place, and I don't give a shit about winning. All I give a shit about is I don't want to see some freaking musclehead dressed in blue ahead of me. I don't want to see that because I don't know what the pro purse is. Who knows? You're winning and getting screwed. You're winning and getting handed a last place trophy every time. Okay, so Kevin McNeil comes into the first turn, wipes everybody out. Stewart goes around and wins. I get up. I get like I don't know what I got, 4th, 5th. It wouldn't have mattered what I got. And right away, and Stu Thompson is the pro champion, 14 points ahead of Greg Hill, blah, blah. I'm like, well, 14 points. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not shocked, but I'm pissed off. And, who can I punch in the face right now? Because I'd like a line of people that I could just go through. I'm so pissed off. And I'm telling my dad, I'm like, you don't race 365 days to lose by 14 points. That's fucking impossible. It's not happening. So the long story short, we contacted the ABA, requested the points sheets from the year. I was told, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And I said, that's not a problem. Fine. Mind you, I live at home. I'm 15. I probably made 50 grand this year. That's not much money, but I'll spend every dollar on it to hire my uncle, who's an attorney. He's in Shreveport. He's not far from you guys. He'll be in touch. Gene Roden was like, oh no, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. I'll send you all the points. So he sent me all the race. I got actual moto sheets, okay, of every race except one, okay? And the only reason I know that is because my mother had kept every single envelope from every race that I ever won money at. Every one of them. She had them, okay? So we went over the moto sheets, and my mom says, this envelope is unaccounted for. This was Odessa, Texas, on whatever, a Wednesday night tour race where you won $260, okay? And that's not on and not showing on these. So we want to take 260 and minus 14 from that, and that's what you won by. Okay, cool. We call, we tell, and the first part of that is when we call, I say, hey, listen, there's a race that's not on here. We need to get this figured out. And Gene Roden says, well, we can't get a hold of this guy because he runs a winter, ski resort, and he won't be back until like May. And I said, really? Well, I'm going to get a hold of him. Okay, well, so I got a hold of the guy. I don't know how much time. I got him on the phone, and I said, hey, I'm calling you in regards to this race that was on this date. Can you verify? And he says, yeah, no problem. Let me look up. And he looked it up, or he called me back, but he said, yeah, you won $260, and I can confirm that. And I'm like, cool. I'm looking at the envelope. It's, it's here. We call up, mind you, when I say we, I'm in my bedroom. My dad's in the living room. We call ABA. Gene Roden's on the phone. Merle Meniga's on the phone. And we say, listen, there's a discrepancy from this race, blah, blah, blah. And we can't even finish. And Merle says, I don't give a shit. If Stuart doesn't want to drive the van, then I'll drive it myself, but you're not getting it. And I said, I think something to the effect of, I don't really give a shit about a van. I have a car already. I mean, I could buy 5 of those vans. I could give a shit. I'm not racing all year to win a fucking van. Okay. Keep it. And he says, well, there's just, Stuart's going to be the #1 pro, and that's just how it's going to be. And I said, Stuart didn't have more points than I did. See, this isn't about Stuart. It's about the truth. Stuart and I are just pawns on the table. Okay. That's all we are. And, I was a 15-year-old punk ass kid, and Stu was the darling of BMX. And I had already just won the NBA national championship, the overall, the big one that, that Stu won 2 times before that. And Redline was the sponsor. And how cool for Redline. Now they were going to have the #1 ABA Pro and the #1 NBA. Well, they had that anyway, because I won both of them. But Stuart shortly went on to Redline. My point was, I told Merle Miniga and Gene Roden, after we got to a point, they were just like, well, it doesn't matter. If nobody wants the van, I'll drive it myself, and Stuart will get the #1 title. So, what do you do to that? I mean, I don't know. At the time, I don't know. I can go back and second guess everything I want to, but the fact of the matter is, in the history of our sport, there's never been not one time ever has there been a championship determined after the Grand Nationals. Okay. It's happened once. Okay.
Right.
And that was that. So as most people probably do, it's, what do? You can start a lawsuit, but hey man, it's 1980. We're racing again. It's time to man up and go try to make. I always, when I train kids, I always told them, I don't care if it was Purse or anybody, you know what? You're never, ever going to make up for this. And I know this from experience. I don't give a shit what you do. If you win 15 national pro titles in a row, it doesn't make up for what just happened. That won't change. That's in history. You're not changing it. You can't make up for it ever. So, but at the time it was like, hey, let's go win it and let's try to make this right. So here we are. So that's the 79 deal. I think the picture that you said was up on the screen that shows the ABA's intentions clearly show what the deal is. And I think it's very clear who won the title and who got screwed. And that's it. It's the facts.
Yeah, I'm looking at the now. I mean, it's like 16. It's like 16 points or something. It really is you, Stewart, and then Brent is like not even close. I mean, it was just you two that are like,
yeah, that was it.
Clearly, right.
That was it. That was the deal. And there's more to the side of it. Like there's personal family stuff that I don't want to get into it in this, and it's not appropriate to. But I will say that, I love Stu. He's like my brother, my big brother that I never had. Okay. I got nothing against him, and I got more respect than people could ever imagine. Okay. For this man. So this has nothing. Well, then why are you doing this? Because Stu, it ain't about Stu. Okay. For once, it's fucking about me right now. It ain't about Stu. Okay. Still, I love him. All right. Now we go to 1980, and
Hey,
now, I'm racing.
Greg.
What's that?
I have some things I want to talk about on 79 first.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we go into 1980.
That's perfect.
And I think we should separate the two because there's two different incidences.
I agree.
So first of all, you bringing this up, in my opinion, it's not a slam on Stu, and for 1980, it's not a slam on whoever the other person was. It has nothing, and I don't know where Stu's at, and like you said, that's your personal family stuff because he has family. There's only one entity here that screwed this up, and there's only one entity that screwed you. There's multiple individuals, Merle, Gene, those guys, right?
Yeah.
Merle and Gene were running the series.
Absolutely.
And so, dude, those guys were auctioneers, dude. They were horse traders, and they were horse trading for the guy to win the title that they thought was going to do the best for their business.
That's right.
But here's the deal, man. it's not a slam on Stu. So I don't think you have to defend yourself on that, dude. What you're saying is the ABA went WWF on us and predetermined who the winner was going to be regardless, and the winner
That's
didn't come
right.
out the way they want. So
That's
they
right.
started adding they were adding things to an already published schedule,
That's correct.
right? And
Which
so,
is crazy.
well, it's just
And
it's just corrupt.
Just
Well,
to interject, the only
so-
reason I overemphasize the part about my feelings towards Stewart
Right.
is for the guy who's outside the circle, okay, who's watching this, who might wonder, and it's like, that's the only reason why,
Right.
But I know it's not. It has nothing to do with him, and in 1980 there was another player, happened to be him as well, but same deal.
I just wanted to say that, man, because I don't have a dog in the fight, right? This
I
doesn't,
understand.
whatever happens here doesn't matter. And I wanted to acknowledge, because someone could say, "Oh, Greg's mad at this or Stu's mad at that."
Yeah.
Myself and my two brothers here, we're neutral.
Yep.
And I wanted to say publicly, it has nothing to do with Stewart.
No,
Right?
he's not the one who did it. He's not the one who
He
put
didn't
on the
do
extra races.
He didn't do it. So you're not saying, Stewart,
correct.
you're a bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you framed it perfectly when you said you and him were both pawns in the puzzle, man.
Absolutely. Yeah,
let me
absolutely.
come to it. Let me come to it from a different perspective, because I think it's important that whether it's my opinion or not, and it isn't, but I want to make sure I say this so that everyone gets the full picture.
Mhm.
So I own an organization that I'm growing. It's 1979 is still the beginning of ABA. I have an organization I'm growing, and I want to appeal to as many mass sponsors, the Chevrolets, the Ford, the Kellogg cereal, whoever. I'm trying to appeal to these big companies to get a big time sponsor so I can make more money, be more profitable as a business, and grow. So I have the opportunity to have the rider that we're going to showcase for the entire next year. He's going to be our champion. And so my choices are, like Greg said, the darling of BMX. Big guy, looks like an athlete, older, conservative, can play the role perfectly. The big guy with the big number one. Or because of stuff I can't control, I have a recently 14, now 15-year-old punk ass kid that goes like this, curses, and not only stands up for himself and will be outspoken, will not be the quiet, gentle giant, will be the outspoken guy, regardless of who he's representing. If I'm the ABA number one pro and I see you screw up and I see you do something wrong, I'm going to call you out on it. I'm not going to take it quietly. That guy. Oh, and let me just say one more thing. And your dad, God rest his soul. Your dad was not easy to deal with either. Your dad would absolutely hold them accountable to everything as well.
Totally.
So with if you had Stu Thompson, you had Stu Thompson. If you had Greg Hill, you had Greg Hill, and you had Mr. Hill. It was a package.
Totally.
So from their perspective, I'm thinking they're saying, "Oh my gosh, man, which one am I going to choose? If I have a way to control this, if I have a way to change the outcome, this is what I'm going to do."
Absolutely. But I know all these things,
And I think, I know you do. I'm saying this for the people that are going to watch this episode, Greg. I want them to understand. Well, that's within their rights. They own the company. That's how they do it. But it's absolutely, we all understand and agree that it's absolutely manipulating the situation.
I totally agree with you. I understand these things. And you know what? I would never put this away. Dude, I won't change. I don't give a shit. I went and raced. And as Eric said, I wasn't running the event and Stu wasn't running the event.
Right.
I don't care if you're, brown with purple polka dots and, you're not very, very good or easy to look at, dude. It doesn't matter. If you win the title, you win the title.
That's
if
right.
you have enough points, then you have enough points. And to be honest, I don't really care a whole lot why they did it. They did it for the one reason they did it is because they're ignorant. Okay? They're ignorant And that leads to being unfair and selling out and all these other things. But it starts with being ignorant. And that's what it is.
I don't think I disagree, Greg. I don't think they did it out of ignorance.
They did it on purpose.
That's right.
Well, and their ignorance is what allowed them to do that.
No, I think
Because if they were intelligent, they wouldn't do things like this.
I see it different. That's just right. Different words. And the way I see it is greed, right? They were greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were not above being stand up and doing the right thing, right? And so here's the thing. Going through my mom's boxes of her stuff, I found all kinds of stuff. One of the things I found was handwritten letters to the NBL where I got cheated out of some points.
Yeah.
And points tabulations, especially back in those days, got mixed up all the time.
Oh yeah.
And you had to take care of your shit, and you had to watch your shit, and you had to make sure to keep them honest. This is different, dude.
Agree, totally.
Because they didn't add extra races after the NBL Grands.
Right.
No, not even.
Right. So they made an honest mistake on missing my points. My mom luckily caught it. And so we got the right points that I deserved, and everything was fine. And it checked out the way it needed to check out. Yeah. This was preconceived, dude. This was a plan.
This is done on purpose.
That's right. And I don't think it's ignorance, Greg. I think it's greed. And I think we have a plan in place that needs to happen. That's all right.
Turning it off.
I think it's Merle. He's calling.
Merle. Yeah. I did talk to him on the phone once, but I'll get to that later. But
so I just think it was greedy, man. Those guys had a business plan in place. Yes. You threw a monkey wrench in it, and they were like, you know what, man? Where we're from, we're horse traders, and we'll fix it. We're gonna fix this.
I don't disagree with you at all.
It wouldn't have mattered. The only place you could have got at that last race was in front of Stewart. If you would have got second and Stewart would have got first,
it wouldn't have mattered. They were going
because the difference between first and second dollars was going to be 14 points.
If you think that was their max of what they would do, you have no idea what I'm getting ready to talk about.
All right, wait, before you get into, I know we want to go to 80, but let me just ask you something, because I look through the points, right? And really clearly it's you and Stewart, right? I mean, this is the closest, because Brent is 2,000 points behind, right? And Clinton is even more than that behind. So for these guys, no matter how many races you want to add there, they don't have a chance. So the organization adds 3 more races, right? Because they want Stewart to win, right? Mm-hmm. To eventually win. But what are these other guys that are in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th that don't have a shot?
Right.
What's the reaction there? Because clearly they're seeing it too.
Well, they added 4 races. They added a Saturday, Sunday, and a Saturday, Sunday. And I honestly feel like, because at the time, we weren't racing. There wasn't a lot of money in the sport. So I just imagine that the extra races for guys was just like another chance to go make some money.
Get more money.
Sponsor some exposure,
I can tell you from Kevin McNeil's perspective that the reason he went, because it was the opportunity to make more money. It was just, all it was a money grab for anyone else that wanted to go.
Totally.
And the reason, and I know, because my dad gave Kevin McNeil money for gas to go.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how I got to go. That's
cool.
Just because my dad gave it. So I got to see the races. I got to get smoking 15 novice. I lost, but hey, I got to go and race.
Yeah, you got to cruise with Kevin McNeil.
And I got to sleep in a Volkswagen with Kevin McNeil.
With a Mako motorcycle gas tank for his.
That's exactly right.
So the other pros weren't really like, this is crazy, what's going on. They were just there for the money.
And I'm sure that's only I don't know that anyone else except Stewart, and I assume Stewart knew what was going on, but I don't know. I don't think anyone else even realized what was going on. They were just saying, "Oh, hey, there's another chance to go get some money."
Yeah, it's I don't know. I agree with everything that you guys are saying, and I'm not here to try to get anybody to feel sorry for me, or I'm not trying to get anybody to try to see my point of view. I feel like, at least in my life, is that when I'm dealing with an intelligent person, they usually tend to have some type of a moral compass. Yes, people can still be greedy when they're like that and do things that are not fair when they are smart and have a moral compass, but chances are a little bit less. I feel like, Merle Menega and Gene Roden are the rodeo salesmen, slinging dung wherever they can. Listen, dude, these guys were burning. There's a whole nother topic, but they were burning moto sheets to keep the IRS from seeing how much money they made at a race. Okay. A 50-gallon metal drum out in the back nine at a national, burning moto sheets. Okay. So, but yeah, there's no way that Stu didn't know what was going on. Okay. Again, I'm speaking truth here. Okay. And there's no way that I didn't know what was going on. And there's no way that Kevin McNeil didn't think, dude, I want to win some cash this weekend.
Right.
He could give a shit about me. And that's okay. And in those days, the field, there was a lot of good guys. Okay. But, it usually came down to one or two dudes by October time. And it's like the third place guy already so far back that they might want to get off the grind one weekend and not go because it's like they're tired or whatever. But it's not like there's ever going to be 6 guys going into the grands and they all have a shot at it. It just doesn't ever work that way, usually. So that's 79. I mean, if there's anything else that you want to throw in on it, we could do that, or any questions or whatever, or we could turn to page 1980.
No, let's go to 80.
Okay. So,
Oh, hold on. Yeah, wait. There is one thing I want.
yeah.
I was going to wait till the end, but I want to say now that in 1979 you rode for Redline.
Yeah, I rode for Redline.
And in 1979,
I rode for Redline a good portion of the year. Yes.
we're at the Grands, at the ABA Grands. Who were you riding for?
Redline.
And on December 31st, who were you riding for?
Redline.
At the ABA Grands and through December 31st, who was the team manager on Redline?
We didn't have one. Lynn Caston. There's another layer to all this stuff, which I don't really want to get into. But Lynn Caston, the ABA, and Bob Osborne all knew what was going on. Okay. And it gets back down to, let's push this guy out front and represent our sport, who we think is a better image. It doesn't get down to, let's let the cards play where they are. And, I'm racing, I'm playing poker against the house and they're cheating me every step of the way. And I'm not going to win the title no matter how many races I win. How about that? That's what happened.
Okay. Now I wanted to make sure I got all the players in there. And so now skip to 1980.
So 1980 starts out with a lot of, frustration, being pissed off, put the middle finger to the ABA for a few months. And basically started racing ABA and found myself for the same mindset that Kevin McNeil was in. I got to make some money. I want to win some races. Let's face it, when you're on your bike pedaling, none of that bullshit matters. When the gate drops, who gives a shit? And so I'm racing as much as I can. It's time to go to Anaheim for the Anaheim Pro Gnarler National Friday Night Pro Spectacular gig. At this point in time, I've already been dropped by Redline. Stu's been picked up by Redline. And, if whatever I was thinking up here, that just confirms it all. And that's cool. So, we wind up in Anaheim, and I do want to say this because this will tie in a little while. We went to Elkhart, Indiana at that national. I was in 4th place going into the second turn, and I had the best seat in the house. I watched Kevin McNeil go on the inside of the second turn elbow Brent out of the way. Brent got pushed into Stu. No one wrecked. No one cut the track. I won. Stu got second. Ken McNeil got suspended for the day, and he got a DQ'd for the day. What the fuck's the point of DQing someone when they got last place anyway? Is this stupid? He got DQ'd, and he got a 30-day suspension. Okay. This is important to remember. As we go to Anaheim, we pull up to the track, and my buddy and I look at the track, and I'm like, we got like 4 hours till the race starts. And I'm like, this is like the same gate that's in my driveway. And this track is 18, 19, 20 seconds long. We don't need practice. Let's go home. I'm doing 50 gates. We go do that. We come back. We race Friday night. I win every lap. I win $1,600. Every dollar is a point. And all of a sudden, it's like my buddy comes up to me and he says, hey, you either pass Brent or you're right there. Like, I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. So we come back, we race the Nationals. This is what happens, okay, on Sunday. And anybody who doesn't understand this or doesn't agree with this or has a problem with this, all you got to do is pick up the phone or go up to him and ask Brent Patterson, what place did you get in your motos? Don't listen, dude, I'm 61 years old, and you can ask me what place I got in my motos at a race that was pretty crucial in my career, and I'll tell you, okay? I can tell you that I was on the gate for the 1988 NBL Grand Nationals, okay? And my buddy, Mike Miranda, came before the gate dropped, and shook, hey, I love you, all right? I think it's funny as shit, so don't take it wrong. And he shook everybody's hand, and he got to me. Now, mind you, I got to get fourth or better to win the title. And I got Ellis on the gate, who wins every big race. And Mike says to me, don't hit the gate. And good luck, good luck, good luck. So, I remember, everybody remembers these things. And I think it's fantastic. But I think it's funny, dude. That's why I brought it up. So I'm just saying, Brent Patterson on Sunday at the National got a 4th place in his first moto. He got a 5th place in the second one. And as the gate dropped for the 3rd round, he snapped his chain off. In all of your guys' racing and anybody listening, when is the last time that you ever got a 4th, a 5th, and a DNF, didn't finish, and you made the semi? This ever happens? Never. We're ready to go in our semi with 2 gates of 6, and we're like literally steps from getting on the gate. And Gene Roden walks up with Brent Patterson and says, hey guys, there was a technical issue. We're putting Brent in the semis. Well, at this point, I'm like, are you kidding me? And you have time to either get in the gate and race or miss your moto arguing about it. Because they obviously they waited till the last second.
Yeah.
You got guys shaking their head, but they got to get on the gate. So we get on the gate. I make the main. Brent makes the main. He wins. He wins $500. Okay. He wins $500 that he didn't earn. Okay. We go to the grands and we get to semis. I'm in the first semi. I make the main. I immediately drop my bike and I run up into the stands and I'm watching the next semi because Brent's in it. They come out of the first turn and Brent's in last place. Okay. Last. Okay. The track is lined by tires laying flat, not buried, but laying flat. Okay. He goes into the second turn and he bunny hops the tires and he goes from last and smashes the guy who's in second. Everyone wrecks. He gets up, makes the main. I'm like, obviously not in the race, but I'm like, this is bullshit. Okay. And I'm down there protesting because it matters to me, even though I'm not in the race. And there's other dudes that are down there protesting. And Merle's like, you guys will leave or you'll be disqualified. And even if you didn't make the race, then you'll get suspended. Well, we got a guy who cut the track and hit and knocked down everyone who didn't get disqualified. We got Kevin McNeil that threw a few elbows and got a 30-day suspension. And you know why? Because Kevin McNeil wasn't the model guy either. They didn't want him out front saying, hey, blah, blah. And so right there, if you look at the points after the 1980 Grands, first of all, in the main event, Brent got like a second. I don't know what he finished 2 points ahead of me, 2 positions ahead of me. Let's just take those points away because let's just face it, dude. You're not cutting and bunny hopping the track and smashing and knocking down everybody with one guy and not getting DQ'd. You're never going to be in a main event when you do that. So take those points away and take the $500 that he didn't earn because he didn't make the main, but they put him in it anyway. Okay. And I mean, I won the 1980 ABA Pro title by probably 600 or 700 points. And I won the 1979 Pro title by 246 points or 44, whatever it is. Okay. And it's like, for the rest of my career, I was like, you know what? I got to bury this. No one's helping me. No one's going to do anything about this. Okay. And now you want to know why, when we're on the track and you wrong me, I want to punch you in the face. Now you want to know why I give the middle finger to the ABA and go race USBA and more NBL and all the, you know, other races I can race, which there was a lot. There's choices. Yeah, you know, and then so, you know, these things are happening. 1979, 1980. It's wrong, and I've dealt with it, and I've never once ever brought it up to Brent. I've never brought it. I have discussed it with Stu. I'm not getting into these details. I'm just saying. The thing is with Stu, I'll just tell you straight up, and you guys raced him. You're going to get what you get on the track, okay? And he's not going to be off the track saying shit. You handle what you handle on the track, and he never T-boned me. He never bunny hopped the track and cut me off. He raced fair, okay? And I can say that. And with Brent Patterson, he's a fucking cheater, okay? Straight up. You bunny hop the track and you knock people down. First of all, okay? You get approached by Gene Roden and brought to the semi area where you had a fourth, a fifth, and your chain broke, and he puts you in the semi and you race in it. What a fucking shitbag, okay? Period. And I've never said this. And listen, I got no problem. I'm coming to Dirty Fest. And if anybody wants to talk and has a problem with what I'm saying, I'm here, man. But you're a shitbag. If you get a fourth, a fifth, and your chain broke, and you're going and racing that semi, you didn't even make it, dude. And then you go and you cut the track and you wreck people. And then you sit down in that car and act like you're the number one pro. Are you fucking kidding me? Not happening. So when I look at, I don't want nobody to fix anything. I'm having a tremendous release right now that's been brewing for 40 years. And when I look at my resume, I say, dude, I won, you know, 7 pro titles, dude. I'm counting 79 and 80. I don't give a shit what people say. It's in here. I'm going to call my buddy Mike Rodriguez from Crit Plate, who's probably listening, and I'm going to have him make a 1979 ABA and a 1980 ABA number 1 pro title, and I'm putting it with my other stuff. Because you know why? Because when my youngest grandson out back gets older and knows, he's going to know what Papa did, and he's not. And I'm not going to let these idiots steal from my legacy, man. It's about my personal feelings and about the truth. And these things I'm talking about are facts. And I will go on a podcast with Brent and Stu and talk about it, or I'll talk with Brent face to face. I would love to ask him, how would you feel good about racing a semi you didn't transfer to? How do you feel good about bunny hopping the track and wrecking 5 people? How do you feel good about getting in a car you didn't earn? You see? And now we can get to the end of what bothers me. When I go on Facebook, like you guys do, and I see 80s BMX page, a full page post of Brent Patterson sitting in a Trans Am that says 1980 number 1 pro Brent Patterson. I don't care about the car, dude. I could give a shit. I'm not about the materialistic crap. I don't care. But that's not true. That is not, he did not earn that. And when I see a picture of Stu on Redline with the number one 1979 ABA Pro, which you see all the time, people post this stuff all the time. It's not true. How about we'll take it to another level and then I'll be good. I stopped racing. I do GHP. Okay. For 13 years. Okay. I'm going to the ABA Grands more times than I want to. Okay. But I'm going and I'm setting up. Okay. And I'm getting there on Tuesday morning, Monday afternoon, and I'm inside the arena and we're a vendor. We're a manufacturer. So we're very close to where the trophies are. They got them all on display and they got all these nice banners hanging. How about I'm looking every year at 1979, Stu Thompson, 1980, Brent Patterson in my face every year. How do you look at that and not have it eat at you a little bit?
It has to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bothersome.
I mean, and when you like you said, Greg, when you have the daily reminder in your face,
Totally.
I don't know how you've stayed silent and sane for as long as you have, because it has to eat away at you. And by in your own words, burying it in the backyard, it's going to dig its way back out somewhere, somehow.
I buried it like so many times. I live on a half an acre and I got plenty of places to bury shit and I'm done. There's no more holes to dig. I'm done. My hands are tired. And you know what I'm tired of doing? I'm tired of leaving, like, I don't know how to properly word this. All right. I'm tired of not defending the 15-year-old, 16-year-old Greg. Okay. I'm tired of saying, hey, you know what, dude, you don't matter. That happened. We're just going to bury it and leave that over there. I'm not doing that anymore. The youngest person to ever win a pro title, the youngest person to ever back it up and defend the pro title, getting screwed, you know? I don't want to hear about Ronnie Anderson's UBR number one pro that no one raced at. There was like nobody there, dude. I'm talking about title that everyone contested, that everybody raced, okay? And I'm not on Facebook typing this crap all the time, and I'm not going to be. I never go on Facebook and post about this. There'll be someone that posts and tags me, and it'll be all about a situation, and then I'm going to comment. You see, because like I've been on both sides of this fence. I raced all year long in 1985 in the NBL, and I won more races than anybody in the NBL in 1985. And they made a 10-point error on Pete's favor in Las Vegas. They gave him the wrong placing in his third main. So he got 10 extra points. And I was like, at that point in my time, I'm like, all right, I'm older now. I'm 20, whatever, 4 years old or whatever it is, 23 years old. And now I'm not letting this happen again. Okay. I'm not letting this happen again, dude. I'm on the phone with Bob Tedesco and I'm telling him straight up. And he's like, well, you know, and I'm like, dude, I own a house. I'll sell my house. Okay. I can go borrow $100,000 from the bank. I'll go do that. I'm suing you. This isn't happening 3 times. And he was cool.
Can't
Bob
let it happen.
Tedesco was so cool. Okay. That I called him last week and spoke to him for 15 minutes. And he was blown away. And I said, you know, I want to thank you, man. It's been years and years. You always did the right thing. Whether we liked it or not, you always did the right thing. Given the opportunity to do the right thing, you always chose to do the right thing. And the other guys didn't. And I, as an older man now, I appreciate that. And I need to tell you that. I really appreciate you. And he was blown away. Is this the Greg that used to want to beat me up in the parking lot? I'm like, dude. So yeah, you know, this is a tremendous healing process, man. And I choose to not take this to my grave. And
I can't imagine, Greg. I can't imagine. I mean, look, no one can argue. You know, you're one of the best in the sport. I mean, iconic. But you know, this isn't about like just losing a national or something. Like this is This is a number one, which is so, it's so huge. And for you to happen, twice in a row. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't even imagine holding it in, this long and not making, a big deal about it. I mean,
Yeah,
I know it's a little while, it's years ago, but still, I mean, that's a lot. Like that's a lot to keep in, no?
it
Hey, Greg,
messes
and
with,
I want to say
it
something too.
messes. Let me
I,
say
I,
this real fast. I'll just read real quick. It messes with your mental approach to life because for a while there, it had me thinking I needed to be mad at my father. But you know what? My father was defending his son, man.
Right.
And and maybe he wasn't doing it the most intelligent way, but my dad will go to war for me. My dad would die for me on the field.
Mm,
Okay. And so he didn't have the most um, polite way of handling it, but it wasn't his fault, dude. He could have went up and said whatever he wanted to these people. They need to run an honest business. It's their fault.
right.
Anyway, sorry, Mike.
and I also, well, that's not what I was going to say, but also I could only imagine that from that point on, you have to have a chip on your shoulder, right? You're going to go through life with a chip on your
Right.
shoulder. You're going to
Right.
go through life always thinking someone's trying to get over on me,
Pretty
and that
much.
has to affect the way you are the rest of your life,
Yeah.
unless you get to a point where you can openly share it and feel like I have got this off my chest.
Right.
And I hope that through this, Greg, that somehow you get a release and a relief.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the most important thing about this.
I have a massive. I'm cool to answer any questions, just for the record here, but I have a massive relief. A second ago, I have like energy releasing from me that like I almost feel like I like flushed the toilet on something, and you know this this does affect your life. If there's something anybody can get from this, is that deal with shit when it needs to be dealt with, man. Like right now, and it doesn't matter if people like it or not. It only matters about truth. There's only truth and there's lies. There's no in between. And it's like I feel so relieved, And again, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I want to get this off my chest and do it in a way where I feel like I can just be free of this, And I feel that way now. It's great.
That's
And it
fantastic.
doesn't matter if anyone thinks that I'm right or anyone thinks that I'm crazy, and I don't care. I have a platform you guys provided. I'm grateful for that. But this is why when I raced the rest of my career, this is why like in 95 when I'm doing redline rep and I'm deciding to race double A, but I'm not shouldn't be out on the track, but I'm in fourth in my semi to make the double A main, and Terry Tonette hits me in the last turn, but doesn't pass me. Okay. I still make the main. These things that took place and how I was raised is why I raced and chased him into the parking lot, way to the end of the parking lot, and grabbed him by his shirt and told him I was going to bash his face in. He's like, "What are you mad about? You made the main." I'm like, "Don't ever touch me again, dude. I will knock your teeth out. I don't care how big you are. It doesn't matter how many roids you're taking. I don't give a shit. Don't touch me. Don't screw me over. None of that."
Don't screw me over, because
And
that's really it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You could,
Well, I want to say something, and I can say this for JV and I. We were never in the position to battle for the number one pro rank. So we don't really relate to that. But there is somebody on here that can
yeah,
completely relate to that, who
totally.
has been in that position more than one occasion. And
Yep.
so I'm really interested in EC. How,
Yeah.
how, how does this sit with you, and how do you see this happening? Can you even put yourself in that position?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I got goosebumps listening to all this stuff on and it hits on a lot of levels, right? Because of where the corruption comes from, right? It's the 80 deal is a different deal. Like um Brent going up for the semi, that's I mean, dude, that's a willing and knowingly cheating move. Um, the deal where he bunny hops the tires, that's a dirty move. I can it's dirty and it's cheating, but I can understand in the heat of the moment, under distress and panic and making a stupid move and doing that, right? But the I guess my point on that is like when the corruption is at the very top, right?
Mhm.
And it's something and it's a thing that you've committed your life to, right? So at that point, Greg has now committed his life to being, this is what I want to be, man. I want to be I want to be the best pro. I want to be the best pro ever. And I know your mindset, Greg, was not, I want to be a good pro. I want to be the best pro. I want to be the one that wins everything. And when you have a an association that won't let that happen, dude, it's crazy to me that you were able to keep racing your bike.
Yeah.
I mean, like because you get to a mindset of like
Defeated,
doesn't
right?
no matter what I do,
Yeah.
they're gonna find a way to cheat me out of this.
Right.
And so I think on all of that stuff, that's the thing that blows me away the most is that you were able to stay racing. I think it's a testament to your grit, right? And the focus, not focus, the determined human that you are, that you were like, you know what? I'm gonna just put my head down and do it again. I'm gonna just do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna win by more so that they can't do that to me. I can that's what my mindset would have been. I imagine that's what your mindset was. If I go win all the races, then nobody can refute that.
Then they'll say your license expired and DQ you. So,
Right. But
So,
it's
yeah.
just
Right.
it's crazy, man. Like I can't the semi deal, dude, that's crazy. Like I mean, that is really, really crazy to me because like with Stu, that's a different thing, right? Because there was more races put on the books. We don't know if they called Stu. We don't know if they called Lynn. That's here nor there, right?
Right. Stu
but
went racing. Stu went racing.
Right.
and
He didn't
and
show up
you
in
know
the
what?
staging area to race a
It's
semi. He didn't win.
sort of playing by the rules, kind of.
Correct.
You know, you keep
So
adding money. And listen, on Sunday's double pointer, if Stewart wasn't, hey, we're going to have an added trophy dash for another
right,
$16 for first place. You know,
right.
you could keep going until midnight of the 31st, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
But
So we don't. Yeah.
so they kind of, fooled with the rules. But 1980, there's no two ways about it.
Right.
And I do want to say that I've witnessed, I've been part of a couple of other times. One, I saw Suzanne and Ernie put Brian Lewis in the gate after he didn't make it because he missed his semi. He just says,
Yeah.
"Oh, he missed it." The point was he was the fastest guy. He was going to make it anyway, so they put him in the main.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, was in the gate at a UBR National in Northern California when Stanley Robinson got put in a semi. I still don't know why. And the gate was on a trailer above the ground, so there wasn't room, and they just crammed him in. And I was in the semi. We all had to scoot over to make room for him on the trailer gate.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I've seen so to hear that the ABA did that in a semi doesn't completely shock me.
How does he make the wait? How does he make the semi?
You don't.
How does Brent make the
You don't.
semi on a
You
full?
don't. You know.
Well, it was
Right, but I mean,
wasn't a
how do
full
they
gate.
fit him in on the gate without somebody
They
that
only
actually?
had
Well, because there were
semis.
six, so they just put one semi has 6 riders, and the other semi has 7.
I just can't. The thing for me, Greg, like from a racing standpoint, I can't imagine Gene Roden coming over to my pits and saying, "Hey, get your helmet on. Let's get over to the gate."
Right.
I just can't imagine going
That's
Fix your
saying,
chain.
"Okay,
Fix your
Right.
chain. Let's
I
go.
get it. So this is the reason why when I tell you with Stuart, I could literally, and I do, can go meet him and my sister, have lunch, hang out, camp.
Right.
He raced what was put in front of him.
that's right. That's
With
right. It's
Brent,
different."
Okay, here's the deal. Hey, Greg, you going to Frogtown? No, I'm not going to Frogtown. You really need to go to that Friday night party. Yeah, dude, I want to go to that Friday night party. I want to be there, right? How about fuck that? Okay. Yeah. I don't want to go. Okay. I don't want to look at people that I have no respect for. And for years and years, I want to say this. I battled Brent Patterson long and hard. He made me a better racer, and he was a tremendous racer who I lost all respect for when I opened this up in my mind and decided I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to let it out and I'm going to deal with it. So then I realized what kind of a person is going up to race their semi when they clearly didn't make it.
Right.
And what kind of a person is going to, cut the track? I understand you're desperate. Let me tell you what. I was desperate at the 1979 NBA Grand Nationals. In my semi, I basically was in fifth, and there was a guy next to me going into a turn, and I took my hand off and pushed his shoulder out of my way. Right? You know what I did next? I hit my brakes, pulled to the side, and let everybody go, realizing what a dick move. Who does that? I did it without thought. I just reacted, and it was wrong. I disqualified myself. And I still had enough points to secure the NBA National Championship, which I did. But you are, as an individual, given a choice to do the right thing every day of your life.
Right.
So when people choose not to, I've lost all my respect for you. So as I sit here, if he watches this, if Brian watches it, Brent, dude, I don't give a shit. It's the truth. And if you can't deal with it, I don't need you around anyways. It's not like I'm hanging out with these people anyway.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
I mean, the reality is you might, I have, I've got some teammates and on some other teams that I've been on outside of the BMX world that have a little bit of grief towards people that were part of our team. And I have to remind them, I have to say, like, brother, we're never going to see that person again in our life.
Right.
So like,
doesn't matter.
Yeah. So harboring or worrying about what they think or worrying about what's going on in their life.
That's right.
They're just, and so the reality is you may or may not see Brian Patterson ever again in your life.
It doesn't matter.
And he's, yeah. I meant,
but I might see him and they might say, hey, why'd you talk? Well, hey, we can talk about this. I'm talking about truth. You want to bring it out right now? We can go over there and talk about it.
Yeah. Greg, I'm sure I was going to ask this, but it actually popped up. I'm sure you must have played this in your head how a conversation would go if if you guys did get some time, move to the side.
Right.
Hey, let's just talk. Let me just talk it out. How does that play in your head?
In my head, here's how it plays out. I'm being real, and I have insight because of things that took place and happened. The fact of the matter is that nobody is going to step up and say, hey, you know what, man, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize how that hurt you and what you've been dealing with your whole life. I'm so sorry. Here's what it's going to be. Oh man, I had no idea. I just raced, I was just focused on racing. Yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. I can understand that. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to, man? You know what? I raced pro for like 14 years and I was going for a #1 pro title at least 10 times. I know what my points are.
Right.
No one that's in that position is not aware of what their points are. And everybody who signs up is totally aware that when you get a 4th or 5th in your chain breaks, that you're not making semis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Greg, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Like, I don't care if I don't care if it's the only race. I don't care if you're an NBL or an NBA racer and you decide because there's a race in Anaheim that you want to do the Anaheim race and you go to that race. If you're racing at a pro level, it doesn't matter. You didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. You just didn't make it.
And James, I just bring another perspective to this? Just food for thought. I'm not saying it's my opinion. I just want to bring it for the conversation. You're Brent Patterson. You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You're 18 years old. Now, where we are in our lives, we definitely have a different perspective now. But you're Brent Patterson and you're 18 years old. You feel like you're fast, you know you're in contention, and your chain breaks. You're back in your pits, and your dad, who runs the entire operation, is kind of a big guy and has an opinion, as
Mhm.
we know now. He's very much has an opinion. He's there standing over you. You know, how could you do this? This was how look what you blew it. And the man from the sanctioning body comes into your pits and says, "Hey Brent, get your chain fixed. We're going to put you back in."
Right.
Or and we don't know, or the guy from the sanctioning body comes over and the dad says, "Hey, what the hell? You knew he was going to make it. You're going to blow this whole thing because of some freak thing that happened. You got to put my son in." And he caves and puts him in. And Brent,
It's still the ABA's fault.
And Brent, the 18-year-old kid, just says, "Well, I'm going to do what I'm told." Again,
I have
I'm
an
just
answer
putting
for
this
you.
out there for
I got
perspective.
I got a good answer for you real quickly. But I want to,
Hold on, let me finish, because I want to make sure you get mine.
I got it.
I'm putting out there for perspective, for
I
perspective.
get it, dude. I
I
totally get
do
it.
believe that even at 18 years old, all four of us knew right from wrong, cheating from not cheating.
Absolutely.
You get in that gate and you don't really belong.
That's right. But you
And
see,
that's a guilt that probably maybe he
no,
Still has. Yeah.
may carry.
the
Yeah.
fact is like, to touch on what James said, how does that conversation go? People won't cop to it. They just won't. The second thing is, so Brent was 18 and you said that scenario. Okay, I get what you're saying. How about this one? I'm 16 years old. I'm at the NBA Grands, and I know that not only am I up for getting the national #1 16 expert title, whatever that is in my class, but I'm up for the overall NBA title. If I win my 16 expert main, I get an entry to race the trophy dash, which is how you got your points towards the national championship. I pushed a guy and I stopped, not having time to add points. Did this just cost me this, that? No, I didn't let that get in the way of the truth, man. I made the right decision. I started driving when I was 14 years old. At 15, I knew if I ran a red light because I had to hurry up and get somewhere. No one had to tell me, well, when the light turns red, you got to stop and you're going to go on green. You have a choice, or you're given the opportunity to make an honest or dishonest decision several times every day of your life. And for people who decide not to, they're shitbags. And I got no respect for them.
You learn it's not even 16, dude. You know when you're 6 or 7 years old, man. That's when you
Right.
start.
That's the right.
Yeah. When you're 6 or 7 is when you start processing right from wrong, and
you've well learned
doing
it
things that, dude. This is a funny story, not really, but we used to go to you guys would know the store. JV, you probably wouldn't know the store. There used to be a store in SoCal called TG&Y, and they were these just little chain stores and had crap in these stores. And dude, we used to go to these stores and shoplift.
And you knew it wasn't right.
And I knew it was wrong, because we didn't just grab the stuff and walk out. We went into the bathroom and we stuffed our pants and then walked out. Right?
Dude,
and so
you were a
Hey,
little
this is
stealing.
what happens when you don't grow up as a Catholic.
we were
See what he did? We didn't do that, Eric, because we grew up Catholic.
Well, I mean, I don't know the neighborhood you grew up in, but dude, there was a lot of trouble that was easy to find in my neighborhood. And we weren't stealing big, dude, we were stealing like a deck of cards. And the one time the guy knew, we would go there, we were going there all the time and stealing. I got caught. I was walking out, the guy stopped me and he gave me a nut check, douche, and he hit me in the nuts and it hit the deck of cards.
There you
And
go.
he said, "What is that?" And I ran out of the store. I never stole again. I never shoplifted again. I learned my lesson there. But my point is, at that age, I already knew that what I was doing was wrong, because I went into the bathroom and we hid it.
At 18 years of age, I knew this. So I'm going to say something about you for a second, Eric. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was exiting my career as you were hitting your stride as a pro. Okay.
Yeah.
And I always mention this one race. I won't get into detail on it, but in Vegas when we raced our semi and I did the brake check thing in the last turn,
Yep.
and for the last transfer, and I'm like, this dude could have went inside and rode me off the track. This dude could have cussed me out at the finish line. I brake checked him, and you came up and shook my hand, dude. And
Yeah.
for me, that's like you never had to think about doing the right thing because you did the right thing without question.
Yeah.
So if Bob Tedesco or Jim Banks or Gene Roden or Merle Meniga came up to you and said, let's go, son, you're racing your semi, and you know damn well that you didn't make it,
Right.
I just don't see you going up and racing it, okay? I don't see it.
I couldn't.
So I'm not letting Brent off the hook because, hey, we're young and, you know, I'm fast enough. Hey, you know what? Here's the deal. Here's why they have semis. You know what? You're fast enough till you're not.
Right.
And when you're not, you're done.
That's right.
And you're not getting a free pass.
Broken chain or not, it doesn't matter.
That's the point.
That's racing.
That's right. That's racing. And that's the beauty
That's
of
the way it
racing
goes.
versus any other sport where you have to be judged.
Mm.
You're judged at how you cross that finish line.
That's
and that
the
is
deal.
one of the greatest things about BMX.
I can't let them off the hook by generalizing anything. You got a choice. I went up to the race my semi because I made the semi.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
That's
So
why we do it that
you
way.
know, history won't change, but you know what is cool? This is the coolest part, and I know there's people might not get this, but there's two histories. There's a history outside of your brain and your heart. That's the world we live in, and there's a history that is inside of you, right? And the history inside of me tells me the truth, man. I have peace. I have absolute peace. I don't need anybody to agree with what I'm saying right now, because right now I'm going to, when we're done, I'm going to close up this laptop, and I feel like unbelievably cleansed right now. I feel like I said everything that needs to be said. I'm cool to answer questions, but you know, if I could, because I've been able to win a championship and feel what I'm feeling right now, I have to just say that this feeling I have right now is way more powerful and more cleansing than winning a title. It's by far, and that may be because I'm 61 years old. Life has evolved to a point where you look at things differently. The 15-year-old me would be saying, yeah, right, you're full of shit. Okay. But the 61-year-old me is saying, man, I have peace right now. This is like, you know, if I went outside right now to check the mail and just to go out my gate and someone rode by and flipped me off and told me I was a jackass, I'd be like, hey man, have a nice day, bro. Because I'm still feeling good right now, you know, and that's all that matters, you know.
It is. That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that, well, that you chose us and you entrusted us to speak your mind about that. It really does stink that I mean, in no way, shape, or form, dude, does that not, like, that is we go down this path of life, right? And every day things happen, and then every single decision, everything that happens to us is a fork in the road. It steers us into different things, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And you can't look back and go, well, what could have been, and but it part of you does that. That sneaks in and does that. And dude, I mean, it's crazy to think or wonder what would have happened if you would have got that 79 title. Well, you would have got that 1980 title. If Brent wouldn't have got that one title, that's the one title that he won. He didn't win any others.
Nobody ever be talking about him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Would he have been the?
No, he wouldn't have.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
when you won one thing that you didn't earn and it was handed to you,
right?
No.
And
would it have changed the outcome of Patterson Racing?
Correct.
What kind of impact would it had on Redline? Think about this, and believe me, I have thought about this. Think about the pissed off Greg Hill in 1981 when he gets on GT and stumps everybody's dick in the dirt.
Right.
Well, look, I mean, it's a, the first of all, in my opinion, uh, there are things you can't control, and
Right.
and it seems like these 2 years here, there's no way you could have controlled that. You had no control of that. That
Yeah.
just, that's beyond that, right? The
Yeah.
other part is you're right. It is interesting to think like what would have happened to Patterson Racing. What would have like that to me is like wow, that really could have changed a lot of things. But then the other part too, Greg, I mean, look how great you became. Like as a racer and in this, your legacy, all this stuff. I mean, beyond those 2 years
Yeah.
is very incredible. Would that have happened? You know,
No,
so
never.
it's a tough.
It would have never happened
Right? The
because
It could,
butterfly effect. The butterfly
it would have
effect.
not happened because, like, so if you said to me, "Hey, if you could just have those first two versus the rest of your career, what would you pick?" I'd say keep those two. I'm
right,
good with everything else I did. But then what I have to do is I default into I'm about truth, man. Give a man his wage. He worked it. Pay him for what he did.
right.
I worked those 2 years. Pay me for what I did. I got screwed. Now there's people that'll say, "Man, I just don't get it, dude. The dude won all this crap, and he's sitting here bitching about this, dude. That's not what this is about.
No, no, no. It's
We're
not. It's
talking
not you
about truth.
bitching.
We're
No,
talking
no,
about the
right.
It's
history of our
about you
sport."
opening up and sharing your feelings,
Right.
sharing your truth, and giving. Here's what I think. Giving. This is an example of the opportunity that you're giving all of our brothers and sisters to feel the same way. That hey, listen, you need to recognize that if you're carrying some sort of depression, if you're carrying, and I'm not saying you are, but you're telling that you're everyone else, hey, if you're carrying a load or you're
Right.
burying something in the
Totally.
backyard, listen, it's just better to
You gotta let
find the
it out.
moment and get it out and get past it, and so the healing can be through and be done.
Right.
And you can live a better life, a more fruitful life without, and you can look at Facebook and not
I
feel
do.
these same anger and
Yeah.
emotions or whatever they are to get past that. And so, Greg, you've done not only have you done a favor for us, but you've really done something for the community, for the
I
our
appreciate it, man.
BMX brothers and sisters.
I feel like, if I opened up Facebook now and I see anything I got done talking about, it wouldn't really bother me anymore because I got it off my chest. But I also feel that, you know, you can go vent with a good close friend that you've known forever, or you could go take what I call the long drive and, let it out, which I've done, so I can verify that doing those things, because I've done it, doesn't do what it's happening right now. When you're speaking to guys who have given their whole life to BMX on different levels, and know what it's like to compete and win and lose, and you feel, and like, so without you guys providing this for me, I don't have the opportunity to vent this out in a way where I feel like enough people can hear this that it's satisfying for me to close the book on it,
Yeah.
and be done with it. Like, I won't think about it. But it's amazing sometimes, as you all know, I'm not sure what Mike and James every day throughout the day what you're doing. I know Eric, when you're driving the tractor,
Yeah.
I can guarantee that your mindset is no different than me when I'm grinding a floor, when I'm doing a 3-hour grind.
Yeah.
I'm doing this in my sleep, so now I'm thinking about the dumbest shit that pops into my head randomly.
That's
And
right.
so you're grinding a floor, and it's like, wow, we went to the 82 grands, and they decided to run 5 mains, and you just start thinking about it for no reason, dude. I don't want to think about this.
That's crazy.
I don't want to
JV,
know about
when
this.
you're on that JV, when you're on that red eye flight from
Yeah.
San Francisco to Miami, are you just going stupid Matt Hayden? I didn't even
Yeah.
this.
I didn't have to quit right there. I could have kept going.
It's true. It's
just-
true,
it's
Greg.
tough,
And it is like that, man. Your mind gets going, and because like you said, it's you're kind of in autopilot doing that, and so when you're in autopilot, it actually lets your mind be more relaxed.
Right. Absolutely.
And you can do um, it is some your mind can be your best and worst enemy, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can really process things that need processing in your life, and you can think through things, and you're able to, like, my dad called it his when he drove nights all the way to Terminal Island from Norco,
Yeah.
right? And I
Right.
asked him why, and he was like, it's my time to think.
Right.
We're thinking when we're working, and for the it just helps us, right?
Yes.
But sometimes it hurts us, dude. I was thinking about this, man, and you asked me, Mike, about, because I was been a number one pro, going for titles and things like that, and dealing with this stuff. I was not a pro. I was an amateur, but I was trying to defend a world championship title of mine, and we went down to Chile, and Greg was at that race as well. And I didn't know about this till after the mains and after the awards. I was talking to a guy that was in the main with me, and he mentioned to me this. There's a guy from Chile. He's really, really fast bike racer. His name's Daniel Rojas. He is actually still racing BMX, and we got into it a little bit on Facebook. Anyways, this race, he was faster than me. He was clearly faster than me. We were racing at altitude in Chile. I was gassed, dude, and he was fast. But as you remember, Greg, that first straightaway was super, super short,
Yes.
and
The
he
second
got,
was a mile long.
yeah, he got lane 8. I think I was in 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And this guy who was in the main with us watched him switch lanes with
Oh my
his
goodness.
countrymen behind the gate.
No
Oh,
way.
Yeah, he watched him switch
Wow.
lanes, and he had got lane 1 or 2.
Wow.
And dude, I could not. I got around the first turn from the very outside, worked my way through. I worked my way into second, but as you know, by that time he's gone.
Yeah, and the point is it happened. So it happened last minute. You
Right.
either got to get ready or go over there and argue about it while the gate drops.
I didn't even know about it till we were at the
well,
awards banquet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can remember, dude, that was just one race, not a pro
Right.
title.
Yes.
And I know how frustrated I was after the race, and I was helpless.
Absolutely.
That's the feeling that I remember, and I can only imagine how helpless you felt for that happening to you 2 times in a row.
right.
I fought the guy at the next World Championships.
Yeah.
So we were in Australia, and I followed him around in practice, and my dad was like, dude, just leave him alone. And I was like, okay. And if you remember the Worlds in Australia,
Yeah.
when you practice, you finished and you rode underneath the stands back up
Yes.
to the gate.
Yes.
And so when we were underneath the stands, dude, I rammed into him from behind, and he turned around, and dude, we started going at it, dude.
See, that's why I know. That's why I like you so much, dude. You're ready to scrap, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. And we almost got disqualified from the race, dude. And I almost cost my parents a lot of money flying all the way to Australia. But
But you wouldn't change it.
no way, dude. I would do the exact same thing again.
You
man.
said that guy hit pretty hard, though. I think I remember the
He
story,
did hit
right?
pretty hard, dude. He hit me pretty hard. But I hit him
That's
pretty
a
hard.
cheat move.
And it
That's
was,
a cheat move. That right there. That's a cheat move. What he did.
that's right.
Yeah.
And so, but the feeling, right, Greg? That was one race. And granted, I wanted to defend. I had won the worlds 3 years in a row before that. I wanted to really get that last one before I turned pro. That was part of my legacy, and it's what you're talking about.
Right.
And it's a helpless feeling when you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you can't. And
Right.
you could have won 10 times in a row before that.
Right.
Doesn't matter because that
Correct.
happened and the dude cheated. It's not
Right.
cool.
Right.
Not cool at
And
all.
we went at it. There was a Facebook thing. Dale Holmes brought it up. Dale always gives me shit about it.
Yeah.
And me and him were going back and forth, about it. He's like, I can't believe you're worried about this stuff in the past. And it's not about that. I said, you fucking cheated.
It's
And you
about
know
the
you
truth.
cheated, and I know you cheated. And
There you
that's
go.
all that matters. And you're a cheater.
That's right.
And he never said he didn't. He just said, I can't
Who knows?
believe,
How can you say you didn't?
yeah, I
Right.
can't believe you're talking about this shit back in the day, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, you cheated. And I told him, I said, I'm not even telling you I would have beat you in the main, but I know you cheated.
Right. There's no clock on the truth, bro.
That's
It
right.
happened, and it don't matter if it's today or 50 years
Right.
ago.
Right.
It's
There's no clock on the truth.
there's no time period on this shit.
Right.
There's just truth
Well, it's
and there's the untruth.
well,
And
it's
there's
just
nothing else.
well, it's just integrity, right? My dad would always tell me there's a lot of things that happen in your life, right? There's a
Right.
lot of things you can do, a lot of things that opportunities that can happen, all kinds of things.
Right.
And but there's one thing that you can control, and there's one thing that you carry through your life, your whole life. Every day you have this is something you control, and it's your integrity.
Yes.
And that was what my dad would always tell me. No matter what you do, if you carry your integrity with you and you do the right thing, no matter where you end up in life, whether you're rich or poor, whatever, if you have integrity, you always carry integrity, and don't ever compromise that.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
that was a lesson that my dad always taught me. And dude, it's right.
It's the truth, man.
It makes life a lot easier.
It does. It absolutely does.
Oh, man.
For sure. So
Crazy
Yeah,
topic.
Yeah.
Crazy
Woo.
topic.
well, this is one of them topics that isn't like a warm fuzzy, like a lot of times people like shy away from the deep stuff. And they're like, if there's one other person that watches this and just thinks to themselves that, like, I remember that one time, and dude, it doesn't have to be on the track. I remember
Correct.
that one time I worked like 30 hours of overtime and they juked me on it and didn't pay it to me and I never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you got to stand up for yourself.
Dude,
People will take advantage of you.
Greg,
You
can I
have to.
tell you? Can I tell you my dad one time, and my mom and my dad got into it a little bit because my dad was on his was looking at his check, and they shorted him like, I don't know, 26 cents or something, and he took it to the HR, and
Yeah.
my mom was like, I can't believe you're going to take it to HR, and he's like, no, I'm going to take it, and he went there, and the HR lady was like, you're seriously gonna contest it? Like, he's like, she's like, I can give you 20. He said, it's not the 26 cents.
It's the fact that you
It's
did
the
it.
fact. And I want you to
Yeah.
know that I'm watching.
There you go.
And so if I don't say something, then you feel like you have the ability to get over on me. And
Well,
I don't want you to think you ever have the ability to get over on me.
like, there's no monetary value in that. There's moral value in that. And
That's
that's
right.
what needs to happen. The truth needs to happen.
That's right. That's
So,
exactly
yeah.
it.
Hey, Greg, this is the last question I'll ask
Yes,
you
sir.
about this whole
Yeah.
thing here. I really appreciate. I mean, I didn't know a lot of this, so very
Yeah.
enlightening to me on the whole thing. I know that you said in for the 79 one, you did take it pretty far to contest it.
Yeah.
Do you think is there anything that runs in your head like maybe I should have done this more, or you took it as far as you could go?
Yeah. Like, so I think to myself, what could be done to fight for this, to make it right? Right. And my thing was, I knew early on, I know for a fact, because I watched it happen, that they burn moto sheets. Okay. To keep from, look, I mean, we're talking about a situation where the IRS showed up at the 1985 ABA Grand Nationals to shut them down. And Richard Long came out of the stands and wrote a check to let the event keep going. These people were greedy. So and talking with my parents, was like, we could sue them, we could go to court, but it's not like today's day and age where record keeping is so deep and these guys could
Right.
manipulate their records. They could burn moto sheets. It's like, you're going to go to court. You could spend years and money and not get the decision. Just go race and just forget it. Like, just try to, I mean, the whole point was go race and try to get it. So in 81, the ABA changed the point systems to where every dollar it was always every dollar was a point at nationals. Okay. And in 81, they said, it doesn't matter if you're racing on a Monday night in BFE, and if you win $7, that's 7 points, and that's towards your title. That's why Kevin McNeil went on tour for, like, I'm not bagging on Kevin, okay? I think I love the guy, okay? But he won it. So after 81, the ABA was like, well, everybody complained about this. All the guys dropped out except for Kevin in June, and it was So in 82, we race ABA, and now they're doing the same point system as the amateurs. It's 240 points for first, 200 for second, 160 for third, and on down. So in 82, we go, this is great, dude. If all this stuff doesn't convince someone when I say this, you'll get it. In 82, we race, I'm riding for GT, and Richard's like, we're going to go kick ass. Forget all this bullshit. I think I won 11 or 12. I think I won 12 ABA races in 1982. Closest guy won 4. If the point system stayed intact, I could have just went to the 82 ABA Grands and been the team mechanic and pissed off on the race and didn't give a shit. Didn't matter. Oh, by the way, a month or 2 months before the Grands, hey guys, we've changed the format. Here's how it's going to work. If you're sitting in points 1st through 8th, you're going to race 5 main events for the #1 pro title. We're going to park a Trans Am in the infield. Okay. If you've placed 9th or lower, you're going to race that pro class. There'll be 2 pro classes. And that's how we're doing it. So let's park a car in the infield and let's run 5 laps on some shithole rodeo style track.
God, dude.
And dude, I mean, there was a crash every main event, right? It's like, would they have done that if Stu had won 12 races and I had won 4? Did anybody even know who Brian Patterson was back then? No.
It's crazy
Okay.
shit, dude.
So yeah, it's like, now it's like, wow, there really are going distances here. The hatred is deep, whatever. The greed is deep. And at that point after that, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate. And the situation for you, especially, man, at your age when you were young and that young,
15, man.
I mean, I can't imagine, like,
15.
that's a lot to comprehend at that age.
Yeah.
Man.
I know we got to get going. I know we don't have, let's just say the other side of the dynamic on this, and it's not to dive into like personal family shit, but imagine, dude, just imagine the other layer of this where you're, it's 79 and you're battling with this guy who's dating your sister, who they're married now. And he's coming over and visiting and hanging out. And, we got Easter, we got like, holiday ships going down. We're, this shit's playing out where you're both in this movie and the script is not good.
Yeah.
And you're having family time and during it.
Right.
It's just terrible.
That's a lot.
I raced my brother-in-law Rich, when Rich got old enough to race.
Yeah.
Me and my class, and we raced mountain bikes. There was a situation that happened in Japan. We were at a race, and they had this thing called a stall wall. It's not nearly as crazy as what you did, but like it was just a spine in the middle of the track going in the first turn. And I got the whole shot on Rich and got in front of him and moved over on him. And dude, he was right behind me and got under me. And right when we were cresting over the top where you needed to brake check and go down the other side, he put his elbow in my ass, dude, and he launched me.
Oh yeah.
Shot me over the bars.
Yeah.
And my wife is now,
His sister.
it wasn't
His sister.
Yeah.
yeah, my wife is his sister.
Crazy.
And
Right.
she's standing at the finish line because she's also on the circuit, right? And so I came down to and dude, it was awkward. Like, it was weird, right? Because
It is.
I was furious, right? Now, he's my brother-in-law. I love him to death, right? And at that point, he's my brother-in-law. And well, we weren't married at that time, but I'm like, dude, it's so, your
It's
mind's going
horrible.
crazy. Like, I would never, ever want to punch Rich. I would never, ever in my life. Like, I would, like, just like you with Stu.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're going to mess with them, like, I'm going to be there and you better be ready, right? Because I'm going to bat for this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But at that moment, man, and I remember coming back to the finish line and I was so mad, and she knew I was mad, and I said something to her about it, and she was just like,
What do you do?
she did not want to get in the middle of it, man. I could tell. And so I had to eat that, dude. I had to ride off by myself, and I had to eat that and process that on my own.
And you're fortunate that it was just a 1-day gig.
That's right.
Not a whole year of racing against each
Right.
other.
Right.
And
And so,
having that-
and I don't think, Rich did not want, Rich would never do anything to me to make me want to crash. He would never try to make me crash. I
Yeah.
think the elbow was a little bit more than he thought he was going to do. And I think it was compounded by where I was on the course. He was
Yeah.
trying to make room for himself and it just got a little too much.
Yep.
And I could tell he felt like at the finish, he was like, oh shit,
Yeah, for sure.
what did I do? And dude, this is actually the first time I've ever talked about it publicly. I've never, and I didn't even bring it up to Rich, I don't think.
You're
And
right.
so, but I feel your situation because I was like, oh, but it definitely changed the way, like at that moment, I was like, okay, like now when we race each other, there's a different line. Now, like,
Yep.
okay, if
Yeah,
I cut him off and he goes off the track,
that's life, man.
Hey.
he goes off the track.
You're in the game.
Right.
Right.
You're
But
in the gate and you're not my brother-in-law right now. That's how I
Now
would
you're
look
in
at
the
it.
game.
But I get it. I get it on a smaller scale than what you're dealing with, Greg, and it's pretty gnarly, man. There's a lot of dynamics at play
Yeah.
with the topic that you've brought up, man, that are really crazy.
So prior to me calling Mike, and now you guys know what you know. You know, I reached out to Mike after I spoke to my wife, and I'm like, I got to do something here, man. And you know, like you think about it. What would you do, right? You have the choice. You had the 1 day deal, and Eric, you had the 1 day deal,
Yep.
and you like dealt with that.
Right.
But if you're dealing with a whole year, and then a whole another year, okay,
Right.
Right.
you guys would you sit on it? You at some point you got to pull it out, and I don't know. You either
I
are
mean,
gonna-
not. I mean, yeah. How do you sit on? I mean, I can't believe you sat on it this long. You know,
It's-
like this
if
is
it
a long
wasn't
time.
for social media, it probably would have not been. You know,
Right.
it's just
Right.
you're seeing it all the time.
Well,
You're
can
seeing
I-
it every time you go on social media. Not every time, but some
Yeah.
of these
Especially
guys
now with the
on
resurgence,
vintage
right?
BMX and 80s
Yeah.
BMX Facebook and others, and they're posting all these photos. It's like they're reliving all this stuff, and it's like you're seeing it. It's like every day you're like,
Right.
dude, how long do I have to see this triggers? It's a trigger every time you see it, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Right.
crazy, man.
I just want to say one more time, the importance of this is that you dealt with it.
Yeah, for sure.
The importance of this is that, and again, I'm forever going to be grateful to you for this, that you've given the opportunity for our brothers and sisters, if they have something that they're holding down or holding back, and they're struggling with, and they see something on Facebook that may trigger them, to deal with it,
Yeah, for sure, man.
because there are instances of people that we know that dealt with it in a different way, and chose to take their life, or chose to do something drastic.
For sure.
And that's the one thing if one person is saved by this conversation, Greg, it's on you. And
Well, it's
thank
cool, man.
thank you.
I never thought like those thoughts, you know, like I just was pissed off, but
Mm.
it is, everyone handles it differently. And oftentimes when you feel like you can't do anything about it is when the negativity and the depression sets in. For me, I always felt the negativity and the frustration. I never got depressed on it. I never sat with my head in my hands like later in life thinking, you know, wow, man, I'm so depressed. It's more like, you know, like sometimes over the course of being married for 32 years, my wife would be like, why do you, I don't know, there's situations that go on, people brake check you while you're driving or some shit, somebody talks, why do you go so quick to the, you know, you want to punch this guy's face in? And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I don't
why do you
know.
have to honk
just-
the horn at him all the time?
it's, my horn doesn't work, dude, in my work van. So it's like my horn
That's a
is my
shame.
mouth.
That's a shame, Greg. Get that
I
fixed.
don't drive around angry.
It's a good release, I
It's just
think
that
I've heard.
you can be a little more mellow if you didn't have this crap inside of you. So, you know, now that it's out and the next, from this point today forward, when we're driving and someone does that, I'll just be like, yo, what's up? Come on in, man. No problem. Yeah. Have a nice day. Oh, fuck you. Yeah. Right on, dude. Peace out.
Yeah.
I don't have like any desire to lay hands on people. You know?
I read I was taking my wife and kids. We were going to Disneyland one time, and I tried to get over in a lane. The guy, there was space, and then I started to get over, and I looked again right as I was coming over, and the guy saw I was coming over, so he sped up,
Sure.
and we hit on the freeway. Boom! We touched tires.
Oh,
Welcome to SoCal.
And so I slowed up, and the guy pulls over next to me, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" And he just starts yelling at me, blah, blah, "You gotta," and I was just like, "Dude, pull over. Just
Yeah.
please pull over. Pull up. Just," I said, "Stop yelling at me. All you have to do is pull over to the side." We're yelling at each other on the freeway. He's like,
Right.
"Just pull over. Just pull off to the side." And my kids are like, "Stop, Dad." And my wife's like, "Stop it." I'm like, "No, I'm not stopping it." That
There
was
you go.
really, and dude, I'm so glad that they talked me out of stopping it, because
Well, yeah,
I
because
would have killed that guy.
guns and things.
If he didn't
about-
get out of the car, with a gun and kill me.
yeah, that's what I was
Right.
gonna say. Now you
Yeah.
don't know. They could
So
have
I
a gun,
realized
you
People
know.
don't die fair, you know.
Yeah.
And I read a book not long after that, and it was talking about, like, I don't get mad, dude. You guys know I'm a real low key guy until I'm not, and then
Right.
I'm crazy. And that put me over the top, because I have my wife and my kids in the car, and it
Right.
put my family in danger, and that set me off.
Yeah.
But I read a book about it, and it talked about anger management and things like that. And it's like, dude, in the freeway situation you're talking about is a perfect example. And it's like 9 out of 10 times somebody cuts you off, you're trying to get to them, you never get to them,
Right.
and they're just cruising along on the freeway in bliss.
Oh
and
yeah.
you are sitting back there harboring all of the anger and all of the shit, right? They don't even realize what they did to you.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it, man.
Can I
And
just
so-
share with you that Sierra always says every time she's driving with me, she goes, "Do you realize people are honking at you?"
Do you realize JV's driving behind you?
Yeah.
Nice
That's
James
great.
behind me.
That's good, man.
He-
That's great.
I don't. I'm
Yeah.
oblivious to it all.
Yeah.
And you know, when people come back next to you and give me the the what for, I always just go like this.
Same.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're talking about, but hey, sorry.
Thumbs up.
I do
You
that
said-
now. I do
Good.
that
Give him a
now.
thumbs up. Hey.
Yep. I do that now. But
Or sometimes
Well-
my favorite one is when they come up next to their all, I go like this. Been drinking?
That's good. Well,
Crazy,
dude, this was
man.
great. I appreciate it. Hopefully you don't get any Merle Meniga calling you and Gene Roden calling you and
I hope they do.
Hopefully
Yeah.
they'll send you on the program to, hey man, you know what? You can come on and defend yourself. Cool.
Yeah,
So Greg,
absolutely.
the-
Hey, yeah,
Two
and
thoughts-
I'll
two things to
I'll
talk
say it.
about.
I'll
Two
say
things-
it, Mike. I don't.
Number one, the day that Greg called me, and we discussed this. It was a month ago. It was just under a month ago. Greg, I'm sure you don't realize this, but you did realize I sort of panicked.
Yeah.
And it was about, hey, Greg, man, if you feel bad, you always have someone to talk to. I don't know how dark a place you're in. I was just
Yeah. No, I wasn't on that side. I wasn't depressed.
I know that now.
You
But you don't realize it was the day that Dave Mira took his life.
Oh, I didn't have any idea. Holy shit.
I know you didn't.
Wow.
I know you didn't, but I did. And it was, I was thinking that. And the week
Yeah.
before, not long before that, another friend of mine, not long before
Yeah.
our call, a matter of weeks, a good friend of mine had taken his life as well. So I was
Tough,
in
man.
a mindset
That's
of, oh my God, and
Yeah.
also the thought of how can we take what we do, because we've talked about this, us three have talked about how do we take what we do and make it meaningful and philanthropic, and how do we help our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, man.
So I was on edge when you called me, and
Well, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't realize
was
that.
like,
But
panic. Okay, so we have our conversation.
I mean, I didn't realize that, but thank God that I'm not, like this is again where I go with people. I say, hey, listen, I'm not validating my worth as a human being by what award I got in BMX. Okay. I'm just feeling like injustice was done. And since it can't be corrected, I want to put out the truth, man. And that'll be cleansing for me. It'll be interesting for some people and not for others, and that's okay. But as I finish, as we're coming to an end here, I feel I don't have to wonder if this was a good thing. It was a great thing, it was much more powerful for me than to worry about, well, let's not say anything because, man, I don't want Brent to be upset. And, I don't want to upset Stu. And, he's married to Tanya and all this. Dude, the only person that I consult with, there's two. There's me and my wife. And there's no one else. And then after I'm done with me and my wife, which I should go to the first one, which is God, which is always, regardless, I cuss, I swear, I'm a hypocrite, I'm a loser, but I'm a Christian and I believe in Christ. And you know what? I prayed about this and I didn't get, hey, this is not a good thing to do. Just go forth and talk truth. I'm not doing this out of being malicious. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And so I'm cool with it. And I feel great about it. And I feel like this was one of the best things that in my whole entire time in BMX that has ever happened. I have an opportunity to speak truth, and you guys have a platform which is tremendous that, a lot of people can tune into. And I feel absolutely grateful and that you guys would open the door for me. Because listen, like Dale and listen, I don't hold back. I tell people what I tell people. Dale Holmes and Jason Richards, I love these guys. Good people, right? It's probably been 10 years ago. I don't know. I approached Dale and I said, hey, listen, you know what? There's some stuff going on. ABA, blah, blah, blah. This is happening in the industry. This is not good. We need to talk about it. I can't do it, man. I'm sorry. I understand you can't do it. You don't want to be set up down at the local Ralph's, grocery store when the National's a mile away. Myself, I never gave a shit about that, but I get it if you don't want to talk. So he didn't want to touch it. And I had no idea you guys could have touched it or not touched it. I'm happy to know that you guys are having no problem putting out a platform where, someone's bringing truth or what they believe is their truth. And you guys are given an opportunity to that person to say what they need to say and give your input and your opinions. And without that, I'm still sitting here today trying to not think about this until I open up Facebook again later and see that,
well, the one thing is the one thing that we do also, and I can speak for my brothers is, dude, it's an open invitation to Merle, Gene, Brent, Vance, Lynn Caston, Bob Osborne,
they're not going to talk about it.
Stewart.
Love to see it, but they won't.
I'm just saying those.
Yeah,
doors open. I get it.
Yeah,
that's right. We
Yeah.
don't filter.
Well, you guys
we're
are-
not filtering it. I mean, it would be
No.
we started in the beginning. We said, that this was going to be like if we were sitting in the pits
that's right.
and we were just talking.
There you
and
go.
and this would be one of the things we talk about. I mean, and if somebody wants to join in, join in.
You guys have the house as a platform. I've walked through the front door. Let me hold it open for Brent, Stu,
That's right.
anybody else. Come on in.
Absolutely.
I'm done. I'm leaving. Come on in.
That's right.
Because I wouldn't come and talk to you about it if I knew I was not in speaking truth. I wouldn't bring this. This would be buried, dude. It would have stayed buried.
Right.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank
Yeah.
you for letting it out.
So thank you for allowing this to happen, and I appreciate it. This is one thing that repairs a place in my heart where maybe I could have loved BMX more, but now I feel more like it brings me closer to BMX because BMX is not ABA or NBL or USBA or whatever. It's kids on bikes.
Right.
There we go. Dirty Fest. That's what it is.
That's right.
It's all good, man. That's it. So thank you. Appreciate
Greg, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Boom.
Yeah,
The hand is it might be semi-retired now. I don't know.
No, don't ever put that away.
Dare.
Don't ever put that away.
Exactly.
It's all good. All
Okay,
right, man.
now I'm gonna let's just say goodbye, and then Greg,
Yes.
I want to hold you on for a second because there's
Okay.
something I want to follow up with real quick, but I don't know that I'll put it in yet.
That's fine.
I'm not sure where I will.
No
So
worries.
we'll say our goodbyes.
Okay. Peace. Thank you.
Greg, so much. Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity and the privilege to do this.
You're welcome.
It's always great to see you, Greg.
You too, man.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, man.
We'll see you soon in June.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hillage,
Carter,
props to you, brother, for
Thank you.
being able to speak up and get this out. And I'm glad we could be the place for you to help
Absolutely,
you feel
man.
better, man, and healing. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It
Yeah.
means a lot.
And bless you for being strong enough and brave enough to face it, to bring it out, and to put it out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
And I'm sure it's going to help. I am sure it's going to help somebody else.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, guys. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
man.
Okay, so Greg,
Yes, sir.
about a week ago,
Yeah.
I've been searching for Mo Maniga, trying to get his number. Tough to find that guy right now.
I spoke to him before.
I think he burned his number in a trash can out back, but I'm not sure. I can't.
Probably might have. Yeah.
Yep. I called Gene Roden.
Yep.
I got a hold of Mr. Roden. Mr. Gene is, he's suffering through some health issues.
Yeah.
He's on some pretty strong medication, so I've learned you can't get a hold of him in the afternoon because he can't string a couple sentences together. He can't keep his thoughts going.
Right.
So I called him again in the morning and I talked to him and I said, "Hey, Gene, Mike Miranda," and he goes, "Hey, fella, how you doing?" Yeah, and I said, "Hey, what year were you team manager? I know you were ABA. When did you become the team manager of Redline?" And he said 1980, and I said 79, 80, right in there. I said, Was Greg Hill on the team when you were the team manager? And there was a moment of silence, and then he said, Greg was never really one of my guys.
Of course I wasn't.
I had Stewart. What's that, Greg?
Of course I wasn't.
He said, "Well, Greg was never one of my guys. I had Stewart and Cos Mahler, but no, Greg wasn't never really one of my guys. I don't know if he was on the team or not, but he wasn't one of my guys." And then he went on to talk about other stuff, like I'm here in Texas now and what have you.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the end of the conversation. I could
Of
tell
course.
right then.
Yeah.
That was the end of the conversation.
He don't want to talk about it.
No, he did not want to talk about it. And to me, if you're in a deposition and somebody has you, he instantly knew. I think he knew there was something up, and he
knew.
He veered off the track.
I sent him a message on Facebook probably 3 or 4 years ago, which was not right to do. I said, "Hey, man, this is a one-way conversation. I don't give a shit how you're doing. You know what you did years ago." And I said, "Don't ever talk to me. If you ever approach me at any event, anywhere, I'm going to knock your teeth to the back of your throat. Never approach me with the hand." And I said,
that was the big hand. Right
"That's
there.
it." And
That was the closed hand.
I hit the send button, and then I went and I hit the block button. So I want to say what I want to say, and I don't have any regard for your reply. So I'm going to block you so I don't have to hear it. And I never seen him again.
Yep.
I never saw him again. I don't want to do that, but this is what was feeling like. I don't want to be feeling those feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But,
right.
And now, just brush it off your shoulder. It's all done.
It doesn't matter now. But that reply that he put was, why would you think that Redline would drop me when they had the number one NBA guy, and then even if they gave it to Stu, they had the number one ABA guy. But see, Redline, ABA, and Bob Osborne were
the other
all
pros on the team
aware.
at the time.
Yeah.
With Stewart, were not Greg Hill.
No.
They were not of your caliber. They were. I'm sure that. I think back of those guys. Ruminer never won on Redline. Ruminer never won a race. Cosmology didn't win races.
No.
They could have had Stu Thompson and Greg Hill. That was all. I just got to think that was all orchestrated.
It is
too easy to see when you know all the facts. Now
it's easy to add
easy to see.
Hey,
it's very.
I'll tell you, Greg, the part that really, like, when you were talking earlier this morning, I was like, whoa. I saw on YouTube, and videos pop up all the time, and I saw the instance in Elkhart of Kevin
Yeah.
coming inside and bumping Brian and all that stuff. And I remember as a kid reading the magazine, and dude, they vilified Kevin McNeil. So you would have thought that he had spikes on the front of his handlebars and
Right.
he rammed into them and stabbed them all to death. Like
Yeah.
it was the way the magazine portrayed that instance,
They made him into a villain.
and this has to be taken care of, and this is unacceptable. It was like, and I remember thinking, dude, I was just a kid, and I remember thinking, dude, Kevin McNeil is a horrible person and a
Right.
dirty racer and all these
Yes.
things. And I look at the video now and I'm like,
That's just racing.
He took a couple more pedals and he went on the inside.
He
yeah,
wanted
there
to
was an
win.
inside.
He
It's
wanted to
exactly
win.
what he did.
The guy
I-
wanted to win. He didn't cut the track.
Right.
I
Nobody
couldn't
crashed.
believe I as an adult now, right? Like seeing that, because I had never seen the videotape as an adult and seeing that, and then realizing what my reaction as a kid was reading the
Right.
magazine.
If
Wow,
you could see
dude.
if you could see the look on Merle Miniga's face when I'm standing in front of him at the window and he's handing me a check for $500, and he's totally disgusted and can't look me in the eye, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was I was, but I never put it all together
Right.
on
I get
how
it.
I mean,
I understand.
clearly,
And that was and part of that was it was again. You wonder if Bob Osborne had it. Well, you don't have to wonder. Bob
I'm
Osborne
telling you
had a
that he
hand in
did.
this full story, right?
I'm telling you that he did.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that. So you see, it's clear to see now. But then let's think about this. Look at the impact that may have had on Kevin McNeil's life. Now
Right.
he's the villain, right?
Yeah.
Now he can't get a sponsor. Now, or it's harder for him to get a sponsor.
You're right. Right.
Now it's he, and I'll tell you, this is firsthand knowledge, watching his life deteriorate right before my eyes. Now he's going sideways in his life, even more so.
That sucks.
Now he's veering off the path of normal, if you will.
right.
Yeah.
And we're watching this unfold in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. And
It's a bad deal, you know. But it is what it is, and you know what? You can either bury it or you can
Oh.
bring it out, man. I want to bring it out and put it into a nice package and wrap it up. And what I want to do as the bow is I want to put that little thing on that their ABA paper put about, hey, we'll find out who's the champion at the Grands. And I want to use that to tie up this package. You know, because you know Bob Osborne didn't have a problem, and I don't know if you remember this. And I love Bob, by the way. And I love Bob to death. And I'll tell him, dude, you're full of shit. Okay? I don't have a problem telling him that. But he didn't have a problem calling Stu out before the mains at the ABA Grands in 79 in Vegas to hand him the Nora Cup. Why didn't they bring him out and hand him the ABA Cup? Gee. Unbelievable.
you have to wonder. And why on January 31st they didn't announce it, or why the kiss kept. I remember it kept getting prolonged.
December 31st. Yeah, they didn't. It's
why November 31st they didn't? Why December 15th they didn't? Why?
Right.
Just kept adding on.
Bananas, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's all good.
When
It
you
is
think
what it
about
is.
It's
Well,
really
boys,
crazy.
thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you guys. So
this is historical. Really, it's historical.
we'll see how it's perceived. I know that unfortunately there's so many people that they go straight to the, oh, this guy's just crying over spilled milk card. But at this point I don't really care. Like before this started, it would have been maybe a situation, but now I don't. It doesn't matter, really. I don't care what people think.
I don't think
my
it's
chest
going to
is
be
very
that way, Greg.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is different. This is different. This is,
Yeah. I don't.
I don't think anything like this has ever happened in BMX that I know of.
Well,
Well,
I agree with my brothers. I don't think it's going to be perceived that way because of the way you brought it forward.
And because it's different, right? Like, I think some people get upset with you, Greg. Not upset with you, but they get that viewpoint about when you start talking about motos and how we're ABA or USA BMX or whatever it's called now, and how they don't grow the sport and all that stuff. And that's a whole different topic.
That's a whole other deal. Yeah.
This is different, dude. There was a prescribed schedule,
right.
and then there wasn't a prescribed schedule. And dude, that's
Right. Absolutely.
Crooked, man.
Well, fellas, thank you for all the time today.
Thanks
I don't want
again,
to take
man.
up
I
all your
appreciate it.
Sunday, but hey, man, I appreciate all of it.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much. And we will check in
We'll
soon.
see you. We'll see you at 30 Fest.
All right, guys, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thumbs up,
Yeah,
Greg.
cool.
Later. Thank you.
Later.
See you, Greg.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay,
All right.
that was pretty good. No, that was
Right?
really good.
That was really good. Really good. That was nice.
As heavy, dude. I mean,
Yes.
like it's just pretty crazy, dude, when you hear those details of that stuff, right? That's the part where you're like, whoa, it's yeah. I mean, dude, the ABA thing is
Crazy.
I mean, I understand your perspective with Brent on the pressure of maybe going up there. It's the wrong, dude. It's
Not
the
my
fucking wrong
perspective.
thing. You don't
Not
go
my
up to this.
perspective. It is a different
perspective.
perspective. It
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
perspective.
Right.
I'm sorry, the perspective you put forth.
Yeah, that's important.
Right.
Again, that holy shit.
And that may be true. That may
know
actually
what?
be
Yeah, but the only
That
thing
if he wasn't number one, what would have happened?
right. No, that maybe he felt pressure from his dad and the
Oh, to get up there, to go. Yeah. Yeah.
And keep in mind, he's only a year older than Greg, or 2 years older than
Right.
Greg at the time. He's a kid. But the thing is not my opinion, but one strictly for entertainment to have it out there. So everyone can see it from a different way. It's just for
You're 100% right. I mean, put yourself in that situation, right? You're a young kid. Your dad is saying, if this was the facts,
Right.
if his
We
dad
paint the
said no, and then you've got the head of the fucking organization saying, "Let's go, come on, you're in. I got you." What do you do? No.
I hope that didn't happen.
Hey, fellas, thank you. It was important.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. EC maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Fellas, bye.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey, it's Cash Matthews coming to you from the NBA reunion being held June 21st in Newhall, California. Coming out on the 21st of June at the Newhall Recreation Center, where we honor the great Ernie Alexander. And this show is going to be great. We have legends coming out. We have Mike Aguirre, Mike Miranda, Kevin Jackson from the old Schwinn team, Tracer Finn from CW, Doug Williams from Las Vegas, John Palfreyman, Vance Patterson will be there from our industry side, Lynn Caston, the legend from Redline, Skip Hess, the legend from Mongoose, and Bob Harrow, one of the all-time iconic writers. Come on out June 21st, have an evening with this wonderful group of people and go back to your roots. The NBA reunion, June 21st, honoring Ernie Alexander and all of our Legend Award winners for 2025. We look forward to seeing you. We've got a bike show that morning, and that is going to be phenomenal. This is going to be a great weekend. You do not want to miss it. June 21st, Newhall, California. Hang out with your buddies.
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
What's going on? Tell me about this cool ass event.
All right. We want you to come out to our event. It's called Rialto on Wheels. It's April 26th from 9 till 2. So it's only a 5-hour event. We're going to have some great things going on. We're basically taking over the whole block around City Hall. So it's at Rialto City Hall, April 26th. That's Saturday from 9 till 2.
And what's going on with that thing? What are we going to see?
So you're going to see all kinds of things. We got a little bit of something for everybody. So we have a bike rodeo in the morning for the little kids. We've got a little obstacle course so they can learn about safety and proper etiquette while riding out there. We've got a vintage BMX bike show. So we're going to have a lot of amazing bikes from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, kind of that old school period. If you got a cool bike, you got a collection of bikes, bring them, show them. You might win an award. We got awards 3 deep for all categories. We have a ride out. So if you're into the big wheel ride out stuff, we're going to have a couple hundred people. Rialto Police Department's going to give us an escort. It's only a 1-hour ride, super easy, but it's open to everybody. So that's going to roll out. We also have an expo area. So people from the industry will be there. Electric bikes, people from the BMX world will be out there showing things. We're also going to have some celebrities as well. So by Perry Kramer, hopefully you, Stu Thompson, and other people from the BMX world that you can meet and greet. We'll sign your autographs. It's going to be a great time. And we also have, before I forget, a BMX freestyle show. So we got guys coming out with ramps. They're going to do tricks and stunts. These are some really high level athletes, people that have medaled in the X Games. So really, really cool. It's going to be an amazing event. Again, 9 to 2, Rialto City Hall is where you need to be to come out to Rialto on Wheels.
Oh man, that is awesome. I won't miss it.
Okay, cool.
Hey everybody, Sean here from Rad BMX Builds. If you don't know who I am, I'm retired military owning a small veteran-owned BMX company. I specialize in social media content and build old school and retro BMX bikes from predominantly the 80s. Sometimes I dabble into the 70s and into the 90s, but 80s are my area. I'm a Gen X kid and I love this type of stuff. So if you like old school BMX builds and content, events and shows, make sure you give me a follow on Instagram at rad_BMX_builds. I also have a YouTube channel. Go check us out on YouTube at Rad BMX Builds. I wish all of you a very merry BMXmas, and as always, stay rad.
Hey guys, Matt here from the Nostalgic Neighborhood. We're building a community of friends reconnecting with the best parts of our youth, 80s pop culture, skateboarding, and of course BMX. We've got video coverage of events like the Buckeye Bike Show, Flatland Jams, the BMX Hall of Fame ceremony, and then the Rad event down in Texas with Kevin Hull, Eddie Fiola, and Hollywood himself.
Oh, my third dramatic exit.
I've shared bike builds, we've relived childhood memories, and I've even started flatland riding at 49. In 2025, we're ramping things up, more BMX, more nostalgia. Join us for the fun over on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
Welcome, riders. My name's Kevin Wilson from the BMXers podcast, and I want to make a personal invitation to all you dirty bastards out there to come and watch. If you're into old school BMX stories, old school trivia, or building old school bikes, I'd like to invite you to come by the BMXers podcast on the BMXers YouTube channel and check us out. Leave me a message, subscribe, leave me a dirty message. It doesn't matter. Want to hear from you. Thanks very much. And keep watching the Dirty House podcast because that's where it's at. Peace out. Thanks for everything.
Hi, guys. This is Danny Pena from Danny Pena BMX Racing on YouTube. I like to review BMX races. I love going over BMX magazines such as this, BMX Action being my favorite. Huge fan of the Dirty Knobs podcast. I love the fact that they're giving me some support on this. I love talking about BMX. Please go to my channel. Like, subscribe, comment. I come up with videos just about every week. Love talking BMX. I do a lot of the old stuff, new stuff, mid-school, whatever you want. Come to my channel. Thanks a lot.
Hey, this is John Cruz. No, we're not having an earthquake. I have Parkinson's. What do you think of that, Michael?
We ought to pitch in and get you a gimbal.
That would be nice. But seriously, this is John Cruz, and I obviously have something going on, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 20 years ago this year, actually. So I've chosen the Davis Finney Foundation over the years to be my voice for Parkinson's. If you're not familiar with the Davis Finney Foundation, Davis Finney is one of the winningest cyclists in American history. He's the roadie, if you guys remember those roadies out there, all that Lycra and stuff. But he is just a great man. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he decided to make a difference in people's lives. And his choice was to start a foundation. And that foundation obviously wishes for a cure for Parkinson's, because there is no cure at this time. But they recognize that you have to live with Parkinson's. And your caregivers are having to live and take care of us. And the Davis Finney Foundation, that's what they do, is they only look for a cure, but they look for ways to enhance the quality of life for Parkinson's sufferers and their caregivers. So I appreciate all of you supporting the Davis Finney Foundation. It certainly means a lot to me. I know we all have something, right? So I think it's important to give back to our communities, whether it's BMX or a foundation that's close to your heart. If you don't have one, please choose mine. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, John Cruz. You certainly have made a difference in a lot of lives, including mine, and giving us the opportunity to do something good for somebody else is fantastic. So thank you so much. And on behalf of John Cruz, please find a way to give something to the Davis Finney Foundation on behalf of John Cruz, the Dirty Knobs, and your entire BMX family. Thank you very much.
This is Jay Oakes with BMX Breakthrough. Our mission is to grow the sport at the local level. We've reached out to TOs across the country to say, what is your need to better reach new riders, both young and old? And we've put a financial number to that to make it easier for sponsors and donors to jump in and say, I got this one. You can check out our website, bmxbreakthrough.com. Reach out to me directly, jay@bmxbreakthrough.com. We've got our social media at BMX Breakthrough. We've got the podcast as well. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get more kids and adults on bikes.
Guys, you're watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, James Vicente. What the heck? Are you enjoying the show? Well, hey, take a minute, stop, pause, go to your computer, torquerracing.com. You know what you want to do, torquerracing.com, check it out. You're going to check out the new Pro X frames. You're going to check out the EK frames. You're going to check out the Barbarians. You're going to see the new Torquer shirts. You're going to see the pads. You're going to see all the new stuff. Go to torquerracing.com. You Dirty Knobs! You've been watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, and James Vicente. Guess what? Now, I'm Bill Ryan. This is Supercross BMX. You need to click on the supercrossbmx.com. Come on over! Buy stuff! We need to sell stuff so we can keep in business, so we can keep supporting the show! Come on! Do it!
Hey folks, this is Mike Rodriguez, aka Mr. Crit. I've been racing and making number plates since 1980. You know, like when they used to do one pedal starts. But you know, Crit plate has been around for 43 years. The last 4 decades, the who's who of BMX have raced a Crit number plate straight to the handlebars. And you know, you get that guy Mike Savage, the international man of BMX, still doing it strong. And you know, back in the day, the plates used to be reversible because there was multiple sanctions, and you could put, you know, one sanction on one side, one on the other. Now you just got one. But Crit is still reversible, and that logo is still on the back for guys like Mike and you rad guys, you know, like Mike Miranda, who would turn those handlebars and twist them up. And we got it rad just for you.
All right. Hey, where will we see those plates?
Those plates you can see at every single bike shop that stocks BMX stuff in the USA and Canada.
And where will you be at? Will you be at an event sometime soon?
Damn, I'm sponsoring the Dirty Fest, and I can't wait to come out to Southern California and get dirty.
Hey, Dale Holmes, I want to tell you something. One of my favorite podcasts that I never miss is BMX Weekly. Even though it has an accent, I still love it.
Cheers, Mike. You can get all the podcasts on bmxweekly.com. Old school, mid school, today's school. Check it out.
Yeah, BMX Weekly.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Beer Budget BMX, baby. Coming at you live from the Beer Budget Studios over here at the Hack Shack Quarantine. Oh, man, we're coming in hotter than Satan's nutsack. Yeah, we are dirtier than an Alabama strip club where reclass pros go and get lap dances by their half-sister. Yeah, the only show that'll make you second-guess your life choices like a Amish on an e-bike.
Hey, if you guys enjoy what you just listened to, make sure you tune in every Wednesday night to the All Things BMX show, the only live streaming podcast show in the game right now. Even ask Mike. He's been on. Vicente's been on. Still waiting for that other guy to come on the show. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can also find us at allthingsbmxshow.com.
Well, I spoke to some of the parties involved in this, and I'll tell you this. I first spoke with Mr. Gene Roden, who was the team manager of Redline, and then also the vice president, if you will, of the ABA at the time. And he was involved with a lot of it. And what he had to say was, when I asked him about Greg, was simply this. Well, Greg wasn't one of his boys. He said that, when he took over Redline, it was Stewart, Kosmala, and whatnot. And so he just, his whole comment was, well, Greg wasn't one of my guys. When I spoke to Stewart, Stu just had this to say. It's in the past, and and good for Greg to getting it off his chest. But he had nothing else to say about it. Just not wanting to comment on it. Didn't feel the need to. Class act. I spoke to Brent Patterson. Now, Brent had a different version of what happened that day in Anaheim. What Brent Patterson had to say was that he had 2 first places, his first moto and his second moto. It was the third moto where his chain broke. He slammed his knee straight into his tough neck and was hurt. And so he stood himself up and he turned to the official that was right there and said, do I need to take my bike around the track? Do I have to walk it all the way to the finish line and go past the line? And the official said, no, we got you. We'll just mark you down. And so that's what he said. Mike, he told me, Mike, I asked, do I need to go to the line? And they said, no, they would mark me down. And with 2 firsts and a last, he was going to transfer. And so where we understood the rules as a DNF was different than a DNS, did not finish versus did not start, that might make a difference. Or did not finish gets you no points for the third moto and you don't transfer. And Brett remembered that it was a big dust up at the race right then and there. But like he said, he asked for permission and he asked what to do. And the official told him, no, you don't have to go to the finish line. So that draws that to a close. But keep in mind, when you carry around, no matter what your emotions are, no matter what your feelings are, when you carry it for so many years, man, that's gotta weigh heavy on you, and maybe you have to deal with it. And whenever that is, brothers and sisters of BMX, whenever that is that you feel like you need to deal with it, you need someone to call, someone to talk to, hey, we are always available. My phone number is readily available, 562-489-6025. You call me anytime if you have a problem and you need someone to talk to, because you're never alone. And that's really the most important message we can give everybody that watches our episodes, that you are in the brotherhood of BMX, brotherhood and sisterhood. So you're part of this family and you're never alone. So with that, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being one of the Dirty Knobs. See you at Dirty Fest.